the Jewish feast of the Passover and so on.
Well,
Just,
I'm
New Year.
dieting this month, so
You're
take
what?
out the feasts. I'm dieting.
You're dieting this month. You're fasting this month. Good morning to our many listeners in Radio Land, those who are listening to us on the World Wide Web. Good morning to you. It is indeed a beautiful day, in the words of Mr. Edwards. Jermaine Edwards. Jermaine Edwards. It's a beautiful day.
You had a senior moment.
No, everything happens for a reason. So I get up and I begin to fight again, because I understand that God is on my side and He's working the process. I'm working the process because I know indeed there is a promised land there somewhere for me in terms of the things that I must still achieve. So I wake up, I walk in purpose, because I know there's a destination. Do you know, according to Ephesians 2 and verse 10, and I read it to you, that for every single one of us, we who exist as His workmanship, that there are works that you have to do today, there are works that are out there for you to do, to accomplish. And so don't back off. Don't back off from it. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Indeed, it's all there set up for you. So can you believe God and walk in what it is that He has said and has accomplished for you? Let me just go quickly to it. I like to read it from the Amplified, even as we move forward this morning. Here it is. Here it is. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And here it is. For we are His workmanship, His own masterwork, a work of art. So that's what you are, created in Christ Jesus, reborn from above, spiritually transformed, renewed, ready to be used for good works, which God prepared for us beforehand, to take the paths which He set, so that we may walk in them, living the good life which He prearranged and made ready for us. And that comes from Ephesians 2:10. So we are walking in the works that God knew for a long time that we'd walk in. So God knew we'd wake up this morning, revitalized, ready to take it on, because they are good works. You know that you're a masterpiece? Your husband never tell you that before?
Ask him.
No, me I ask you if your husband. No, you must ask him. Me I ask you. Are you a masterpiece?
I don't give evidence against my husband.
Okay, so you are. Don't give evidence.
He's putting you on trial.
It's pleading the. No. In America, they say plead what? What if plead in America?
The fifth quarter.
The fifth quarter.
The Fifth Amendment.
Okay, all right.
Well, though I am tempted to follow you into what my husband tell me, what I like about your starting point this morning is the focus on works. I mean, a lot of people are distracted and put off by the idea that when you look at divine purpose, it is about prayer and waiting.
No, it's not.
Waiting on God. And then there He tells you, I created you for work. I've preset things for you to do. Just go and sign up and get your instructions.
And keep going.
And as we always say, work and worship are the same.
Avodah. That's the word in Hebrew. Avodah.
We are the lazy ones.
Yeah, who are not.
Who have put something in the middle to suggest that
it's separated.
There is, some disjunctive. So, yeah. And I'm glad that I am a masterpiece. I knew I was a masterpiece before I got married.
Oh, wow. There's that song.
So,
I found a masterpiece in you. The word of God.
I just love how your bravery is just rising up. A year ago, Pastor said his wife told him, do not sing. And your wife knew you're a masterpiece. And she knew the shape and design of the masterpiece did not include singing.
You understand.
And she gave you some instructions. And I see you just getting bolder and bolder. And I love it.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Masterpiece.
That's a Oh, you mean what I'm calling boldness is disobedience? Well, I feel I have to defer to Mrs. Palmer on that one because maybe she's liking the new you.
But we continue to grow and to expand and to transform.
And she opened the door for you when you come home. So clearly, she hasn't said, "Who is that guy? Don't live here anymore."
Oh, I should come up to the 6:30 break.
But can I tell you, your singing has also improved.
It has?
Yeah. Yeah. Words of encouragement. It's time for the break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
People, are you listening?
If you choose to remain at home after an evacuation order has been issued, you do so at your own risk.
Get down, get down! Heed the warning!
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, away, I do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling, because trust me.
Wait, about the spares and repairs. Good afternoon.
What a relief.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Yes, so it's that the
We're just gonna move on as if you didn't sing.
No man. As my wife, somebody said to me, keep your day job. Don't bother try.
I'm letting you out. Halloween is coming up. In America, you could get a job.
I mean, to go scare the people. No, the children will not get any sweeties at all. No treats at all if I were to do that.
You would be the treat. Yesterday you took over the singing of Happy Birthday. That's why I was saying, but hold on, Pastor, I get bold with the singing, man. Poor me and Lowell, we were planning to chime in, but there was no point at which you could hop on that bus.
Oh, it was so out of tune.
But I tell you, Bailey truly appreciated it. She was trying to call in. She said she tried, because she wanted to say thank you. So on her behalf, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
People know when things are done from love rather than from talent.
Yeah, we recognize that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So which one it was yesterday, the love or the talent?
Yours was a happy combination, love and talent.
Yeah, but we
were just trying to celebrate with her.
And to celebrate with all our listeners who celebrate birthdays, you
And
know.
I think today is Nikki's birthday. One of Mary's bestie.
Okay.
I think she said Nikki.
Oh, Nikki
For sure.
celebrates her birthday
Yeah.
today, but
Sister Mary, just know that we are acknowledging the birthday of your bestie. And I know that it's not so much the birthday for you, but the friendship and people growing together and maturing as the seasons change. It's just a beautiful thing.
and understanding who you are,
Yeah,
and moving through
and
the
moving into your purpose.
seasons of life. And I salute Mary, you know. Mary really, if you were to think of somebody who was iconic in terms of what has happened to women and how they have just come back and continue in spite of to do what she does in terms of reaching out and helping people and just doing the best she can just to bring about
Awareness
change.
and to soften the heart of persons to a better understanding of the different things that can happen to us. But you know, you talked about people being born to carry out ordained works. That's what brings Mary into fulfillment.
It is.
If you give yourself the opportunity to connect with the work you can do through your struggle, pain, and listen to me, I drew a diagram for Lowell the other day because we're having a conversation, and I said to him, each time I say I live on a knife's edge, I live on the edge of things, you might think it means I lead some kind of adrenaline-rich, excitement junkie type of life. But all I mean to say is, if you were to draw a circle or a box, there are some people who live in the center of it, where you're comfortable. Everything around you is familiar and within your safe zone. There are some people who live on one side. They never know what's happening on the other side, and they are very comfortable right where they are. And so it is. There are some who live on the edge, on the fringe, where change is occurring. Even if you know anything about technology and radio signal and how your cell phone managed to operate wirelessly, you would know that the signal strength grows weaker and weaker as you get to the edge. And so when you talk about even disruption in technology, you're referring to the necessity to innovate in order to have fruitful activity on the margins.
But innovation, you put in word innovation is key because as you are at the edge of things, you have to innovate in order to survive.
Absolutely.
To survive.
And when you look around you, behind you, back into the place of comfort, you'll see some things that you recognize, but you're not enjoying the strength and the comfort of it. When you look in front of you, it's uncharted territory.
You have to keep going.
You gotta keep going. And if you even consider it, when you're living on the fringe, if you try to go back, it's a return to the very things that probably pushed you to the fringe. So you have to move forward. You can't go back. That's why, some people would say forward ever.
Backward never.
Backward never, because to go back is to confront and contend with the things which pushed you to the fringe. And when you think about it, now look at the nucleus. I'm gone into science now. When you look at the nucleus of a thing, it's in the center. It's where birth happens. It's where growth happens. So you're born here in the middle of something, and life and experience and circumstances push you in one direction or another. But always, if you are a person who embraces growth, let's even forget change. Just say growth. You want to expand and be bigger and more and better at what you do. And take out this idea of negative growth that people who, what do you call them? Spin the spin makers,
Spin doctor.
the spin doctors, those who are into promotion and who want you to feel good. The word growth is meant to convey the notion of positive change. But when you don't want to say that instead of growing, you shrank, they talk about negative growth.
Negative
You
growth. That's a
experience
great
negative
spin.
growth.
Spin it.
Yes, so take that out of your that is an oxymoron made popular in economics.
Made popular by spin doctors.
By spin doctors, the start of misinformation.
Yeah.
So just understand that you're born, and even in science, what I like to do is sometimes for us to just map the way the laws of the universe operate in the physical as well as in the invisible. So in the life of a cell, the nucleus is where birth occurs. From the embryo comes all that we see in the fulfillment or the full manifestation of a being. And as you grow, the idea is for you to exceed and move away from your place of comfort and point of origin and move to the point where change and innovation occurs.
But even if you think of the cell, the nucleus is important, because even when you think of meiosis or whatever, the nucleus has to...
I wake up the scientists.
It has to split in two.
Yes.
And move forward.
And the reason I got onto this is because I was seeing the picture of how everything glorious comes out of a struggle and a tribulation and pain and birth, childbirth itself, whether it is natural or it is cesarean, involves a cutting and a tearing and a pulling out and groaning and weeping, and then joy cometh in the morning.
Yeah, so it's important.
So the nation, it's the same. A nation giving birth to itself, an individual moving into the fulfillment of your purpose and stepping towards those ordained good works that you're created to perform. It is going to happen through struggle and pain, and that's what happens on the edge, the fringe, where you not get no good service. And people get very innovative, like in my countryside where I'm from, in St. Anne. Do you know how, like, even my mother got to see the faces of the presenters who read news to her every night? Because the service for free-to-air television is so poor, so poor. And from my born, I saw it stay.
So what happened?
Internet.
Oh, with the advance of internet. I thought you went
and what
to
do you think name One Spot Media? Is One Spot Media? Yeah.
Okay. So, okay.
It's like for the first time. Can you imagine you buy a TV and you never even know say it's show color? All you see is some grainy, shadowy, and you can hear.
Oh, so she never had an external antenna.
No matter, I don't know how high I would have had to put that antenna to pick something out of the air, because Mount Moriah it's in a valley in the mountains, if you could picture it.
Oh,
valley.
Right, but it's in the mountains.
Yeah,
so
it's in hill country, but
Right.
there's a depression. It sits in a valley, beautifully located. But still, and let me tell you, we really have to... for years, that has been a problem in the rural parts. You have TV in the city and you can get what you get, and radio and so on. But as you move farther away from the center, because the center of a country tends to be where the seat of government is located. So the quality of services and so on. I'm telling you, when I lived in the Ligani area, power cut I don't get. If I get them, short-lived. Water lock off, no matter how bad things are. If there's a disruption in the service, short-lived. You know why? Guess why?
Got the Prime Minister and the people them over that side.
The Governor General residence is
close by.
Close by.
Oh.
So that would be then the nucleus. Look at it. I love it when a good idea comes together. The closer you are to the seat of power, to the center of things, there are some hardships that you will never really know. You get comfortable and complacent. When you drive out, that is why the fact that I come from country is one of the most powerful things about how I think. I never get comfortable because I know that by the time I drive down to go look for my mother, I will have had several ideas about bad road, about unequal infrastructure and the distribution of certain services.
Crazy.
I will hear things that I'm like, you're in the country and you don't even know that this thing are going.
But
And
sister, baby, you don't have to move far to meet those things nowadays. The bad road, you just have to drive, go up a some part of rural.
But let me tell you something.
Rural, you see it.
I'm gonna tell you something. Some of the bad road in the city is a minor inconvenience because your tractor can move through and you're at some place good. Some parts of rural Jamaica.
No, the road just bad from start to finish. We know that.
And even to get transportation and so on and so forth. I grew up as a child seeing people come down from the hills, because I tell you, we are in the valley. They come down from the hills, and our house was like a hostel for people to change their clothes, put on their good shoes, and because you practically swing out of the mountains with your bag in order to go into the town to be able to look respectable for the town.
So which was the town? St. Anne's Bay, Brownstown?
No, from once you come down, you can go Spaldings, Christiana, Mandeville, St. Anne's Bay. You can go in any direction, but you have to wear shoes appropriate to the terrain because there's no transportation that you're gonna get unless maybe it's a market truck. And I mean,
God bless the market truck. I mean,
and believe me, while you see way more private cars and so on, when I go through now, you can see the change. And I tell you, like the farm work program, I told you, farm work program transformed some of the deeper communities because that's the only option that the men had to earn above just subsistence scratching from the soil. And so it has changed the landscape a bit, but the experience is still essentially the same. I saw Cascade Primary and Infant School on the news last night, and I thought it was my Cascade because further up.
There's a place
But
called Cascade.
there are so many Cascades. There's one in Hanover, and there's one above Lorimer's where in my area. I wasn't sure which one it was. For some reason, the whole story was going, and it wasn't clear to me. They didn't repeat it or put a note to put the parish. But, and you look and see the infrastructure and it looked very familiar. But the truth of the matter is that's what's happening away from the center where the very elegantly attired Minister of Education can be talking about this and that and this and that. The life of some of our people is as you get to the fringes, it is a place of tribulation and suffering, and it is ripe for innovation and for good things to emerge.
But you see, what happens is those people who live on the fringes are the great innovators in our society. And it's interesting that you raised that this morning because even those people who live on the fringes still have purpose. Still have work that they need to accomplish.
In fact, some of the greatest works.
Yeah, and so if we understand that wherever you are at, don't make light of the situation. God is able to use you as long as you reconnect to Him. He's able to bring about innovation. Because even when Jesus came, was on the fringes,
That's where He arrived.
That's where He arrived on the fringes, and He continued to be on the fringes. And interestingly, operating out of the fringes brought the greatest change that needed to happen then in that context, in that society, because the early church was on the fringes of everything, yes. And what they did just totally transform and change the politic or the whatever was happening in the society to bring about real change that has been sustained and continues to change people's life. Because ministry really happens in the fringes.
Yeah. There is a question from Earl Brown. He asked me if I speak the dialect called Gypsy from St. Anne. All right, my niece is here. Let's see if she has ever heard of it. Have you ever heard of a dialect called Gypsy?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
You too, Lowell? You too, Pastor?
Yeah.
Speak some of it for me.
I don't remember.
I've never heard of it.
Yes, man. We used to, yeah.
All right, Earl, just record a little note in Gypsy and send it to your friend. I'd love to hear it. Oh, is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, like those pulapan. It's
Pulapu, palapai?
a vowel and consonant.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I may have heard it, but didn't know what it was called. Thought kids were just messing about. All right. So Saint Anne have its own language. We should
That's Saint Anne. If you go
not
different
Saint Anne?
parts, it's a Jamaica. You go to different parts of Jamaica and get different.
This was how we sought to confound the white people.
Yes.
That's why it's not documented. Keep it a secret.
No, it's not documented. But
All
we know
right. I did not recall hearing that name, Gypsy. Gypsy. That's interesting. And Big Truck is confirming it too. Country people used to speak Gypsy. Gypsy. Okay. All right. We got to wake that up, because one of the things I was going to say to you concerning the margin dwellers is that from those places come the richest of cultural expressions and traditions. We have a saying that necessity is the mother of invention.
I know we have invented stuff in this country.
When you live in the margins,
you have to invent. You have to survive.
Invent things to survive. And it usually starts with, well, all right, the rich people them are over there, so me say them I do a thing. I don't have all the parts, or I can't. Let me turn my hand and make fashion.
And we have turned our hand and made fashion.
Yeah. So cultural expressions, derivative languages, makeshift approaches to achieve functional objectives. Even dietary, culinary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is something that they. So you have the corn meal. You know what blue jaws is, right? I'm just asking.
You make me want to say something different now.
Colored underwear?
No.
Is it something men wear?
No, it's nothing. It's but Jamaicans out know what blue jaws is. Yes.
Dukuno.
Dukuno. Blue jaws. Yeah.
Yes. You have me thinking. Like we're talking about innovation, and are you about to say that wrapping cornmeal in a banana leaf? Tell me how
cooking it, and it's such a tasty.
Yes.
Yeah, in terms of using what they had.
Right, because feeding fully from nature, you grind the corn come out of the ground. You put it together with whatever spices you also come from, and you use a leaf that comes from. It's just perfect. And that's more. Is it a poor people thing? Were you thinking? Because we're talking about people who live on the margin are generally poor. They're either poor materially. They're margin gatherers. They're either poor in terms of the materials available to them, or
so they innovate and use what them have.
Or, like I was thinking about Abraham, who was told to get out of your father's land and go south. You're gonna lose network and connections, and have to. So innovation can come from a place of wealth, but a place of isolation. That's where I'm going. So you can put yourself in the wilderness, have the resources from your society where there were more things available to you, but because you are isolated, you now have to create substitutes for what your network, your society would have given you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what the innovation really.
It's just creating substitutes from out of your environment.
Creating new ways of thinking of doing things. So it becomes important. And you look at it this way: those of us who came of age in the 70s as children, when there was the blockade against Jamaica, whatever you call it, because we were moving towards self-reliance. So many things happened in terms of using what you have, in terms of you continue to survive. You go to Cuba. I've been there twice. And I was just simply amazed in terms of what the blockade has done for them. Because even with COVID, they came up with a vaccine early because they have been leading edge in terms of the technology that they've just haven't had to do. Even in terms of things that people have seen in the past, even what they have done with eye surgery and the innovation. It's just born out of that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Necessity.
Necessity. And that's it.
Driving
Yeah,
inventiveness.
what they've done. It's amazing.
Yeah. All right. There's something I want to share with you, but at first, let's tell you what Earl Brown says. He does not know the dialect, but he was in a doctor's office in Toronto, and he heard a woman and a little girl speaking, and he thought they were Africans. And he asked the woman, where's she from? And she said, Senton, Jamaica. She was in shock. He was in shock.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Earl, that could be because you have forgotten.
What? You've been so long gone.
You've been 51 years in Canada. A guy could forget a thing or two. You need to come and spend some time in the hills of St. Anne. Which, this is the point. This is the question I want to ask you, Pastor. And I'm going somewhere with it because I see that Jamaica is in a state of shock over the happenings. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to wake ourselves out of this. I'm gonna say somnolence because, but it's such a sleepy word. When I say it, don't you immediately feel sleepy?
No, I was asking it to translate for the people, as some people tell us online. We need to use the word. Tell us what
but
it means.
But it's the perfect word for what
no,
is
I'm not saying
to
no, I know what
it's
you
like,
mean.
like we're sleepy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like we're falling asleep. Apathetic. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to ask me what that means too. We're not displaying any spirit, any alertness, any energy mm-hmm. to tackle the things that are happening. We're kind of talking about it and saying, oh, well, what do we do?
Yeah, but
here is the question I am posing to you. Having established that change and growth occurs at the fringes, and you can identify a fringe in any setting, idea, concept, society. You're on the fringe if the wealth and comfort of the center is not available to you. You're not a Mr. Leachin who could one day be heading a committee that is looking at all of the country's economic issues, and the next day leasing 2,000 odd acres of land, and the day after that changing it from agriculture into housing, and people are just looking like, huh? You're not one of those persons. You're not in the inner circle. You're not sitting comfortably in the middle of things where no matter where you stretch your hands, you touch something that is familiar and cushy and you're well-resourced. So 95% of Jamaica probably grew to 98% of Jamaica live in the margins, no matter where you are. If you are not in that very select, very elite 2% who own the banks, own great parcels of land or have access to it, have decision-making power, can pick up the phone and call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 persons and get a decision made in your favor just like that. If you are not a prince of this land, you're living at the margin. You're one step away from disaster. You're one step away from a bank saying, you see that loaner with the name Lawrence or Palmer, you start to get calls from the tax office, from your bank, from all kind of places, company's office. If you are not able to activate those resources to be moved in one direction or another, you're living in the margin because you can be the recipient of the phone calls that cause you to be going up and down, trying to reorganize your affairs, not understanding that a kill order was issued last night against you. Many kill orders have been issued against me. That's why I can speak so frequently.
But even the kill orders that have been issued.
Yes.
Guess what?
You won't prophesy again, not true?
No.
Oh. Go on
I
then.
just know that God and you becomes a majority, and some of the times they're
Of course.
confounded. They don't even know what them doing.
Let me tell you.
Them don't know what doing, and it's time for the break as we come back.
Yeah, sometimes the kill order went everywhere, and so one step on the other foot in the execution, and you're standing there saying, "Oh, I think
He
that
creates
was meant for me." He creates confusion. We're gonna come back. There's a reason why I'm winding you up to this point, because the big question you should think about in the break is, can you induce that state of inventiveness in your own mind by just depriving yourself or shifting the stimulant that you give to your senses? Can you bring yourself to the position of a person living in the margin on the cusp of change, where you can just step into that place of growth and multiplication? That's the question when we come back.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Did you know that you can go online from anywhere in the world and get all the information you needed to start a business in Jamaica? It's easy. Just visit the national business portal developed by the Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO. Manager for Policy and Business Advocacy at JAMPRO, Kelly Dawn Hamilton, says the idea for the business portal came about in 2016 as part of efforts to improve efficiency and make doing business on the island easier for investors.
And it came about because a number of things were happening at the time. There was a move to digitalize certain processes. There was a call from various sectors. In one instance, more efficiency across government. In another instance, it was for the government to move towards digitalization. In another instance, within the government, there was a cry from ministries, departments, and agencies who facilitate investments for us JAMPRO, to ensure that they are a part of the process very early. And so the notion of a national business portal developed.
Mrs. Hamilton says the platform outlines the steps that investors or entrepreneurs need to take to get a business started on the island.
To start your business, you would start with Companies Office of Jamaica, and we have outlined all the processes from start to closing your business and everything that comes in between. So accessing incentives, accessing government land, accessing permits, licenses, your cannabis license, for example. How does one go about getting a building approval? How do you apply for a tax compliance certificate? All of those processes are outlined on the NDP. So we like to consider it your one-stop shop for all things related to doing business in Jamaica.
The portal was developed on a phased basis, as the agency didn't just want to provide information to investors, but also make it possible to transact business with all relevant government agencies.
In the first instance, we would have cushion on all the processes related to doing business, and that is our informational hub. And persons can access that now. It was launched September 2020, dobusiness.gov.jm, where persons can go to see how to carry out the various processes related to doing business in Jamaica. And additionally, they're able to register their investment idea.
Once an investor registers their idea, they would then be contacted by a representative from JAMPRO, who would then point the investor in the right direction and get all the relevant agencies involved in the process.
If, for example, you have a tourism project that will require intervention by the Ministry of Tourism, approvals from NEPA, for example, or the municipal corporations, then we're able to direct persons from the point of having an idea. We're able to direct them to the relevant entities, but also we're able to include the relevant entities in the conversation by way of that back-end discussion forum.
Phase 2 of the platform's development will see all government services being taken online and making them available through the portal.
In the first go-round of Phase 2, we were able to re-engineer 8 processes, and these include productive input relief, and that's incentives that are provided to the tourism industry, manufacturing, agriculture, health, and the creative industries. And then we also have divestment of crown lands, application for cannabis license, and registration of pharmaceuticals. So those 8 processes have already been re-engineered, and we're currently going through a process of including them online on the National Business Portal. So in January 2023, persons will be able to go online and complete the aforementioned transactions end to end.
Manager for Policy and Business Advocacy at Jampro, Kelly Dawn Hamilton. Once the National Business Portal is complete, investors can go online, register their idea, get all the permits they need, and start doing business in Jamaica. To access the National Business Portal, visit www.dobusiness.gov.jm. That's it from me this week. I'm Andre Palmer. Thank you for listening.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Warning, warning. When there is a hurricane warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you wanna boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard. If you a fisherman, make sure you turn off every breaker, and before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, river bank or low line area, if you see flood waters are rising, get out, get out. Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and a sliding, get out, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all, you can call us at 926-3866.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, away I do I take taxi start that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling her, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to The Morning Connection. We are taking you somewhere, but before we continue, that I just want to extend congratulations to all the students all across Jamaica, the Caribbean, who have received their results. Those congratulations amidst the crisis. I believe you have done well with the loss of learning that many you suffered, because the pandemic started with those students in 2020, and they have just done their CXCs. Those persons have been in grade 9, they are now in grade 11, of course, the K people. We'll talk about it later, but congratulations, and mummies and daddies, support your child. Even now, you may have had higher expectations, but I think they have done well amidst what was there. So back to where you were, where you left us in that question. I've just pondered about it, and I have a response for you, man.
I want to hear it.
Yes, you spoke about, the question was, repeat the question for us, that if, can you
induce that state of inventiveness by self-deprivation? In other words, because I want others to think about it, you do live in a privileged or a comfortable position. You live close to the embryo, close to the center. You're feeling no particular pain at this moment. A little, trivial inconvenience every now and then, but you're not taking it on. But you understand spiritually that change and growth takes place at the margin. Can you induce in your circumstances that state of mind? You're not going to physically leave wherever you live and your state of comfort, But can you induce that state of mind where you can jolt yourself into that place of change?
Yeah, so somebody comes ready to mind who was in a place and he wasn't removed to the margins, taken away from his place of comfort. And those of us who understand it, Joseph was removed from his place of comfort. And we see that starting in Genesis 38, it speaks about Jacob and his sons and what happened to him. But Joseph, sold as a slave, brothers wanted to blot him out, and somehow one of them says, no, I don't want this blood on my shoulders, and he was sold as a slave.
That was Judah.
Yeah.
I always look at Judah's decision to stand for Joseph and wonder how it translated to the importance that the tribe of Judah then held.
And continues to hold.
In the unfolding of things. Anyway, carry on.
So he was taken out. He was worked as a slave. But an interesting thing when you read those accounts is that it says, but God was with him. God was with him when he was in the prison. And indeed, what happens to you when you're in the fringes, we talk about purpose, you need to understand your call and become even more aware of the giftings that you have, because those gifts is what is going to help you to be able to innovate, for you to become what you need to be. Because as we spoke this morning, those works have been set for you to walk in. So you need to understand yourself, be aware of who God is, make that connection to God, because that was important for him, because even when he was in the prison, he says, but God was with him. When he was in Potiphar, again in the fringes, he had to make some decision as to whether he was going to stay true to what he understood to be true in terms of his belief system. And the lady, well, most men would have said, well, she's offered it to me, I'll take it. The boss don't know, because he trusts me with everything in terms of integrity, because integrity of belief, integrity of your purpose, integrity of how you walk is important. And then finally, the moment of exaltation comes. But you know what he said to his brothers? You meant it for evil, but God, that's Genesis 50. You meant it for evil, putting me out on the fringes, but because God was with me, his purpose has prevailed. Because people, we have to reckon God and you in any situation makes a majority. And I see a lot of people doing different things and them plotting and them scheming. And I say, but God in the situation. So Joseph is an excellent example of that.
Someone who was pulled to the margins in order to give birth to the excellence and the greatness that was awaiting. But so I have a couple of ideas that I want to put to you. Right. So if you want to induce, so like right now, you know it, you hear it every day. People say, boy, the Jamaicans need to wake up. Jamaicans need to. All of us suffering some of the things, we're observing, we're living, we're going through it. And we know that the change will only come if we move against the things that are problematic. But how to move? Why aren't we moving at the pace that we imagine is necessary? Here are some, I feel like I'm one of those magazines that, 10 ways to marry your perfect mate, or, I say, here are a few tips on how you can shift into that position. One of them is fasting. Meaning, and when I say fasting now, I'm speaking about withholding from yourself the things that make you comfortable and satisfied and sleepy.
In order
to trigger a greater arousal of the spirit. The principle behind fasting, which people tend to think it is a church thing, or maybe is religious people do it, but there's a principle behind it that works very well, both in terms of your digestive system and the change that it can trigger in your metabolism and your body, as well as in the spiritual realm, where you bring your flesh into submission, meaning you tell it no. I said submission because you are training the flesh to be submitted to the higher authority, power, strength of your spirit.
Yes.
Because the place of invention, the place where creativity is nurtured and expressed, is in your mind, comes from the spirit, the invisible part of you, not the physical part that need fried chicken and rice and peas. I know that sounds like, and it's not actually my favorite food, or the part that need oxtail and stew peas, or any of the delicious things that when you look at it, you're thinking, I could have some of that.
They're too expensive now.
Let me tell you. Sometimes, oxtail. I don't know, maybe oxtail in particular. The tail of the ox is now safe. You don't have to fret that Jamaicans are eyeing its tail. We cannot afford it. But the point I'm making is, whether you are of a religious inclination or not, withholding the expected nourishment from your body actually can trigger a shift in your metabolism, the rate at which you convert from from food to energy, and if your metabolism slow,
it clears up a lot of things. There are
and
so many
it shifts
benefits.
your overall digestive health.
Yeah.
Literature on how fasting or intermittent fasting in your body.
It does. And
Different people write about illnesses you can get rid of.
And I know of
if
a
you
guy
read
who
it,
says, this is, I can't tell him no, but he did shot them things. It helped him. Him say, wow, better, greater conscience.
I commit to it every now and then.
It's important what it does, because it helps to remove the GERD,
Mhm.
and this GERD is
Mhm.
what drives a lot of the non-communicable.
Don't take it. We're only listening on
It
radio.
removes the GERD. You know what the GERD is? The love handles around your waist.
And at this point, he is encircling his body. How long it take you to encircle your body with your hand? that will give an indication of how much girth.
1 second. But anyway.
Of how much girth some of us need to lose. I need to lose girth too. But intermittent fasting. So if you read the literature on it, it's almost magical. But
you have to stick with it. You have to
it's a commitment. And that's a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That when you make the commitment, you got to stick with it. So you can, through fasting, meaning just self-deprivation, you can awaken the spirit to the point where your mind is now doing all the things that it was longing to do, but you had it under a shroud or a stupor of food and drink and sex and money and drugs and too much feel good and just catering to the sensual experiences of your life. If you begin to restrain yourself, discipline yourself, you will harness those energies in an entirely different direction. So I'm talking to the comfortable now, the ones who not yet in the throes of labor.
Not in the fringes yet.
And have to use their mind now to restore calm, peace, and figure out what am I going to do with this thing when it is birthed of my body.
But even you speak about fasting, it's a new phenomenon. People are fasting nowadays and them say, me fasting from social media.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a major thing now.
If that is what is stimulating the mind and causing you to lose your ability to be responsive to the important things, yes, then you need to fast.
From social
Put down
media.
the phone.
Mm-hmm. And when you do that, I've said to some people, let me tell you how much you are addicted to this thing. Just track how much time you spend on social media. You have the phone. Can't you put down the phone? I went to a business place and the person is tending to me, the customer. And she's on her phone and I'm saying, hello? Hello, I'm trying to... And I'm saying... So I think in government... Yes. Government, just tell them to ban the phone for the people because it's affecting the service delivery in a lot of
You don't have
area.
to ban the phone, you know.
Just what?
Just jam it.
Okay, jam it in the area.
In the air, it's wireless.
Yeah. But some people go
It's
on
wireless.
there.
You just mysteriously, when I'm in the building, my phone don't work.
Yes.
Landlines only.
Yes.
But you see, we have allowed landlines, not we, the people who put money in it. It fallen into disuse, but that was kind of one of the thing about it. If it's a tool for work, it's a tool for work. That's it. But we digress. So fasting is one way. Just discipline yourself to stay away from certain things.
You have made a decision. You make the conscious decision to deprive yourself. And that's what fasting is about. It's not, some people say, me I fast, but it's because they can't eat. That's why they fast.
Really?
That you have made a decision that I am
That's
going
true.
to. Yes.
That's true. And so, that's why I said I'm speaking to the comfortable, because persons who don't have the resources to have 3 square meals a day, and so they eat when they can, you're not fasting.
You're not fasting.
Yeah, you may be starving, and you certainly are suffering, but you don't need to try and induce that state. You need there's another tip for you that is coming up. All right. The second thing, and here the question that came to my mind when we saw that headline about the Innswood lands already being zoned for housing, and read that very crazy description of how a prince of the land comes to be sitting on this and so on and so forth. And everywhere you read it, you can see behind the scenes
Technicals.
that there was breach of
a lot of
there. Yes, you can tell that there were situations of particular person or any company affiliated to him having that kind of access to the land. There, you know, in
and
some
the spin is happening now as you read the
oh
articles.
yes, man, and I'm
major
sure
spin.
they who not backing down? He said, "Oh, there's a statement out subsequent to that on social media." Yes. So, and how can he back down? Really, I'm getting breaking news. I'm getting a report, you know, through the window that the prince says he's not backing down. And how could he without it being some kind of concession of wrongdoing?
What is right and fair.
So we have to get it. We need to put some scrutiny on it and ensure that if he does stay in the game, it is because it is right and just that he does so. Because, you know, when we talk about the principles of justice, it means that we don't penalize the rich because they're rich, and we don't feel sorry for the poor because they're poor. We get to a just result. And, you know, transparency and accountability and so on are all a part of getting to a just result. When I saw the headline, I did ask, how many lawyers are there in Jamaica? Why are we, with the wealth of resources available to us, not putting pressure on the system that is there to give us relief when we are in moments of suffering, doubt, indecision? Why are we kind of left uncertain as to the strategies that can be employed to return common sense and prudence to our decisions in the public sphere? So I'm doing the math for you as we speak, because I'm waking up the lawyers. What did we do? I called out the lionesses. And now it's time for the lawyers in this country to get on with the business for which they were trained. These are the good works for which you were ordained, made, and you took that. Okay, so we have a total of 2,564 lawyers on record, and that don't include the many village lawyers. And I know a few of them. That don't include law in school, but they're in court all the time. They hire lawyers for every conceivable injury that they imagine, and they know as much law by reason of the time they've spent in lawyers' office and courtrooms as any lawyer. I don't even count those. And those, I think, are greater in number than the ones who actually went to school and got a certificate. How did I come to this number of 2,564? If you go on the General Legal Counsel's website, they have a roster of all of the attorneys who are practicing attorneys by reason of their having paid their dues to get a practicing certificate. They have renewed their license. That number is 2,484. Then they have another list of lawyers who are suspended from practice, and that has 6 persons suspended from practice. You would think that it would have more, simply because of how lawyers are vilified on a daily basis. Then you go to the other list of persons who have been disbarred from practice by the cancellation, revocation of their practicing certificate for whatever reason, and that list has 74 persons. You know, it is an indication that something is wrong in Denmark. You know, something stinks in Denmark because they have so much cheese. This is not a good look that you have 6 suspended and 74 disbarred. When you consider all the things that are happening in our society, you would think that it would be the reverse, because it is really contrary to natural justice that you prevent persons from plying their trade. So you should be doing everything to catch them earlier, so that if a suspension from practice would be an earlier intervention, if you could call it that way.
When they say 74 disbarred, that's it says accumulated, or it is so the 74 as of whatever date we are saying have been disbarred, meaning that they cannot practice law.
Right.
So it's
74
it's
persons.
going to be accumulated. Would it be accumulated over the period of time? Because I'm just what.
The list of 74 people.
Okay, so they don't say for what. Okay.
Yeah, 74. Whether it just happened or, but I don't suppose that it is 74 from the time the profession began in Jamaica.
Oh, I'm just I
I don't, because some other people would be dead.
Okay, all right.
You could look at the list. I don't think they keep you on the list after you die.
Okay, all right. So it's people who are alive, but
I think it would be people who, they're around.
Okay.
Okay. But I digressed with that commentary. I thought I would have seen a greater number on the suspension list.
Versus
versus the disbarred. But still, that gives you a total of 2,564. That's a whole lot of people needing to do things as they're carrying out their functions as advisors, as
altruistic in what they do.
Absolutely.
So even with a lot of the things that are Zoom, that are coming up on the horizon, they need to become more proactive.
Man. Yeah.
Go to the court.
Go out and work for the NGOs, give them advice, help them
pro bono work, that kind of thing, yeah.
All right, we got the sign to take a break before we are barred from speaking.
That's interesting.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. Hurricanes can happen, so be prepared.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, away I do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, senior.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Oh my Lord. I just saw a cartoon a while ago and I think it just sums up what is happening. Those of us who read the Gleaner, we remember Beetle Bailey. And so there's a cartoon that says the general is up there saying, thank you. General half track as his own clap track. Yeah, no one else is clapping. Is that what? So you see, he's here saying thank you, and you're
just
clapping
from a sound system.
Oh my Lord. That is the heights of it. I couldn't let that one pass, but it is very indicative of what is happening right now in our country.
You and I were making a joke about the highest performing minister and how his popularity exceeds that of the prime minister.
Yes.
Right. The magic of PR.
The magic of public relations, man. Because, what happens if you're always in the press? And remember, Dr. Tufton has a degree in marketing.
Medicine.
No, sir. Marketing and PR.
I see, you fooled me.
Yes.
No, that's not funny. Sorry. He's the Minister of Health.
Yeah.
So when you hear Dr. Tufton, Ministry of Health, you couldn't be fooled.
But you see a lot of things, and it even happens. Remember what happened with Jamaica Moves and the whole thing with the company that he contracted, which was too close a relationship because of the person who headed up that company and all of those things that came out. We mustn't forget those things, and it was a 9-day wonder, but it just speaks to the heart of what is happening in our country in terms of the princes. Because, listen to this. When you read what has happened with this whole thing in regards to SCJ holding sources, Inwood farmland, already zoned for housing, and the cabinet issues a media statement saying that the Holiness administration was extremely sensitive to competing demands for scarce land resources for housing and agriculture. You don't give up your best lands.
Does that mean they're allergic to it?
Today.
It said extremely sensitive. You read sensitive to think that it means they just mean that they just push that file aside. We don't want to hear about the competing lands.
Yeah, but listen
that
to this.
That upsets our digestive system.
So his company has leased 2,656 acres at a cost of $10,000 US per acre per annum. That's good money coming in. But they leased 372 acres up front and was granted an option to lease the remaining over the course of 3 years. Listen to this. With the option to purchase the entire acreage within 5 years of the commencement date. So you spend 300, you do 372 acres. So you're doing farming, because there's a picture here of the guys reaping onions. But then, let's wait it out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's wait.
It's very deliberate.
Let's wait it out.
Yeah.
Because we do that to say we're doing farming. Good. And then after time you purchase, it rezone already, and you just build a house on it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Very Machiavellian in terms of how we have approached this. And the Jamaican people are seeing to it. We have to do better for our country, and we have to do better for our people.
So a lot of times when these things happen, persons are left trying to figure out how to respond, what are their options. And so you know that the different sectors of society from which protest can emerge have a different method of response. From the people who are living in the fringe and they're hungry and don't have no time to think about what is rational and mark of protest. The academic, professional class who have the skills, the experience, the knowledge on how to take these issues forward. That is why I'm calling on the lawyers. There is a body of work to be done, and it requires, if we are going to maintain a democracy or any semblance of order, it requires that kind of response. So, for example, the environmentalists, the social scientists who must be thinking, in what direction should the city grow in terms of where we build our next major town, how we design the city so that there's proper flow, and all the persons who are looking at the anthropological implications of growth in numbers, in dwelling places, in whatever. those persons need to be applying their minds to, okay, should we be accommodating this kind of development in this space at this time? And what is the vision? We're about to cancel the 2030. What's the new projection against?
Somebody said it should be. A friend of mine said we should move it from 2030
but,
to 2062.
If you're planning and you have your thing going, then the lawyers who, as you read this, you get a sense of all the many breaches and the conflicts and the things that did not go in accordance with law and good order. Go out and speak to the NGOs, speak to the homeowners associations, speak to the professional bodies. This is how you get work. Because these are important issues, and this is how you build reputation. And this is how you show the heart that you have for your country. 2,564 persons currently recorded as having the training in law. Come on, each of you, think of what it is that you can do as part of the answer to bringing order, restoring order to this country. So here are some things that you can do. You can write, you can speak, you can give advice. Any NGO, I'm sure there's a list of NGOs that can be culled from public records. Just like how some people go and chase ambulance to get personal injuries work. Just like how some people do seminars and show themselves to be an expert in this or that. I applaud my friend Gavin Goff for making a very determined assault on the area of construction and the regulatory breaches that occur. Many of the, well, not many, because there's only been a few, but the cases, some of the cases that you see getting injunctions and stop orders and so on have come out of the effort that he has put into that sector. But there are other lawyers out there who can become a part of it. Here's what this type of advocacy does. Remember the unjust judge?
Yeah, man.
The one to whom the widow was going every day and saying, give me justice against my adversary. And although he feared no one, not God, not man, the persistence of this woman was such that he said, you know what, one day she might knife me. So, although I fear nothing, let me just look at what she's saying. I raise that point because we are seeing decisions. You may see decisions coming out of the courts that are government-sided. That's how they look. And you might be thinking they are unfavorable to you. But if you stop going, if you stop pushing that system, you will never know, nor will you shame them if they are corrupt, into getting to the point where they say, goodness, every day the citizens are coming here with the same kind of complaint. I can't, maybe the government doing something wrong. Because you see that the cases are piling up against NEPA and KSAC to the point where they themselves, those institutions, have begun to make changes. Maybe it's insincere changes. We don't know. But you see impact. And when you see impact, you should be emboldened to press your assault. And that's why I'm saying attorneys, professionals out there who have the knowledge and skill, file a case. It's important that we use the court system as a part of this. You know why?
Yeah, because it's working within the system to defeat them.
And the democracy which we profess has some layers to it that should work together to produce a peaceful result. So if we stop taking the cases to the court, even if we file them and they throw them out, as they throw out one, Captain Beswick, of the late Captain Beswick, Paul Beswick, developed a reputation for filing a claim against Cable and Wireless TOJ if they bill him 1 cent over what he should be billed.
Are you serious?
Listen to me. When I was a baby attorney at the law firm that I worked with, I became the TOJ, the lawyer, the go-to lawyer, when these cases were filed. Foolishness, you know. But here what happened. That man was attacking the monopoly.
And he broke it up.
Well, he not single-handedly. But what he did...
Consistently.
Listen to me. When me tell you, you know, them bill him 10 cents over. And he said they only can do that because it's a monopoly. And he says if I don't pay it, they will take away my service and I have nowhere else to go.
Okay.
And he was right in principle. And maybe not everybody have that kind of...
Stick to it, man.
I don't know what that is, craziness. But I'm telling you, I remember him for it. I remember him for it because every one of his cases made the same point. And he did continue to do some work in the sector when the monopoly broke. But he saw that this thing is taking away something from me. And the only power I have is to cause them to spend money on a lawyer. Well, God bless him for that. It was good money. The only thing he could do was cause them to spend money on a lawyer to come and defend a 10 cents case or a $1 case.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was a lawyer, so he was doing it himself. It only cost him the time, and I think he was happy to do it because he was a crusading kind of lawyer.
So we need more of those.
We need more of those. Don't feel that because you have been disbarred, there's no value you can serve. You can serve plenty of value, and also you're vexed. So you're motivated to do something.
That's where I believe your anger. You remember?
Yeah, because you're in the margin. Yeah, the margin is a tough, angry place, you know.
Yeah, you're angry in it, and you use that anger to drive your passion. You hone it.
Channel it. Bring you above the adversities of life. But I really am making a serious point that our judicial system will not produce the best results for us if we just allow them to skate by. Mm-hmm. We must pressure them, give them difficult questions, and be persistent in our assault. Force them to answer it. After they've given 10 decisions in favor of the government, they're going to say, but look bad, we can't do another one in favor of the government.
But that is why I applaud the Americans in terms of
understanding
their rights. Because, you know, what has emerged, and this is, you have some institutions that are just set up to just ask the hard questions of government.
Yeah, pressure them.
How we know that even in terms of the COVID and the vaccine, remember, you know, they were not going to release the what they did in terms of the trial for 75 years. 75 years, them said, no. And they got a judge to release it. And that's why it is emerging now that even the CDC has had to change something that was on their website in terms of the safety of the vaccines. And it's because they use the system. We are go to court. And their system is such that they have different levels that you can go through the court system and force them to produce the material. And then even out of that, they're saying, but some of these things not adding up. Wow. Let us use the system, people. Let us use a system that is there to make them begin to ask a hard question. So, somebody calls us all the time and says the paid what? The paid other station, they call it JLP, FM or whatever.
Yes, the promotional arm of government.
Yeah, we must we must ask the hard questions of government. I was just reading this now in terms of the best performing ministers they were getting things. Interestingly, 2021 versus 2022, Tufton, who has been seen as has slipped. He's lost 5 percentage points.
Oh.
Yeah, he did. Versus 2021.
Okay.
He's lost. And somebody was saying, you know, another lady who's a Gleaner columnist, I once says, persons' perception of ministers largely centers around the frequency of public visibility. And this is so interesting. She supports Tufton's selection as best performing minister. He steered the country through COVID the best he could because it was something. But here's what they said. Whose own business tapped the expanded sanitation market that accompanied the outbreak. And I'm saying that is they're quoting or saying something and them throw this in the mix. They say, well, you could have said that still because your business expand because of this.
I have a message for you from Big Truck. Big Truck say, if you don't have nothing good to say about Tufton, please don't say anything. It sounds like advice from a friend.
No, right?
But he makes a point here. It's a point about integrity, really. He says lawyers who practice criminal law need the system to continue the way it is because that's how they eat. And, you know, it's not the first time I've heard it said. And sometimes you do look at how that aspect of law and the practice in that area of law, you kind of look at how it develops, and you do wonder why there isn't greater advocacy for certain changes. What I can say is this, because it does question the integrity of the persons who are there and the sense, their social responsibility, even if not their integrity. And, you know, in part, it's why I'm calling out the lawyers, because there's a principle that holds true. A working person should always be seeking to clear their plate so that they can take on more work.
True.
That is how you grow, and that's how you build wealth. If you work 5 hours for the day, try and work 7. But don't let those additional 2 hours be more time you're spending on the work that you had in your 5-hour day. It should be new work. I'm trying to remember if when I was being mentored, if that was something taught me or it was just something I worked out for myself. And here's why I put it that way. When you're in mentorship, you work from the desk of your mentor. So he would assign you some work which you do under his supervision. But your output goes against his revenue target.
True.
Because he has really given you some of his work. But everybody have a target. If you are going to make your target, you have to say, okay, I'm going to work 10 hours for the day. I will spend 5 of it on my mentor's work. And I need to create work for myself for the remaining 5. If you spend too much time on your mentor's work, which some people did,
you're not creating a new client.
You don't have no time to create your own business.
It's a
so
balance.
I understood very early in the day that the best earning position I could have is over here in the work that I do for myself on my own. So I would make sure that if it's 5 hours I'm spending with the mentor, I start to reduce that to 3. So if he gives me something, I'm on it and I'm efficient with it. So he gets it back. Then I notice when I get it back, he gives me more. Because I definitely want 5 hours. But when I do more, I earn more. Because he gives me, let's see, like if you're working for a mentor and his hourly rate is $10,000 and you do the work that he would do, he charges the 10, but he will give you 2 if you do good work. So I began to plan my schedule based on clearing my desk faster and faster, so that I could have time to do high-value work. So I realized that there is a logic to creating capacity in your own system so that you can fill it. And even in a spiritual sense, that is what you are told to do. Fill yourself from the well and go and give it to others, impart, and then return. And the more you return, the more capacity, the more you get. I say, what? She come back already? Here you go. An extra one for you.
And they give you more.
Gives you more.
But you're getting the experience and you're increasing your income.
It's just like the more you eat, the more you eat. Because your stomach keep getting bigger.
Yeah, so you have to reduce. That's why
you have to reduce, girl. I love it when it comes full circle. Yeah. So it is something we have to be very mindful of in how we organize ourselves, and how, when you are living in the margin, how you seek to increase and build capacity so that you can push yourself from a place of lack into a place of sufficiency.
Yeah, but
What made you laugh?
no, this big truck, may I sip online? You keep asking me this question.
Which tribes are these? Oh,
And tell me where the people are at, which tribe and thing. I say, all right, big
American blacks, Benjamin. West Indies blacks, what did he say?
Levi.
American blacks, 2. Benjamin, West Indies blacks, 3. Levi, Haitians, Ephraim, 4. Puerto Ricans, 5. Manasseh, Cubans, Simeon, Dominican, 7. Zebulon, Guatemala, Panama,
So where are the other 5?
Mayan.
What are where in the world are they located?
What are the other 5 tribes, and where in the world are they located? You know, I love how egocentric the distribution is. Everything is on our side of the world here. But you know, every man is entitled to think that the world is what I see. I'm at the center
of what it is.
Because in truth, you're at the center of your world.
You know, as we come up, we're going towards 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I just want to highlight what has happened with CXE. And I found this so very stressful. 36,000 CXE students failed to submit SBAs. If people understand what SBA is, SBA is 20 or 30% of your grade. So if you do a good SBA, you're already going
What
into
does SBA mean again?
School-based
School-based assessment.
It is indicating to you that you pretty well have, if the pass mark is 50 and you score highly on it, you know that you have a good mark going into the exam. So I just encourage the students and the parents, because I have been in the system where they extend, and the students just not do the work. And I may say to them,
the reason why, though. Don't be too hard on them.
It could be many reasons,
yes.
you know, but the SBA,
Is there any analysis of what could account for that number? Especially we're talking about pandemic days. You're opening your microphone? Yes. All right. We gift you the 5 minutes. No, now 3.
No, I was just saying don't be too hard on them, because you have to look a little closer at that number, what the cause of those non-submissions are.
Yeah, but you know, as somebody who's
been through a difficult period.
I know it's been a difficult period.
There is COVID, there is the internet issues, there are a number of things.
No, I understand that, but I know for schools that they start the whole thing with SBA early out and said to the students, come, you put workshops, come. And then a lot of instances, students don't show up. Like the school is doing everything within their power.
Into that trap, yes, there are some students who will happen with, but you have to bear in mind this country has gone through a lot of trauma.
Well, I know. It's not only Jamaica, you know, it's around the whole region. So I'm just stuck in our place.
But remember, COVID has affected the entire world.
My brother.
So I'm saying to you, no, I'm not making excuses, you know. I'm saying just be careful how we do these assessments, because we tend to make these blanket statements and not look closer at what's happening in these people's lives. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm agreeing with you, because some of the time I've been close up, because, you know, I do active mentoring with high school.
First, you disqualify you from commenting on it.
Because why I'm saying that?
Because you don't do active mentoring.
No, because I'm saying to them, like you say, okay, all right, okay, you have SBS to do. What is your time frame for getting it done? And you're working with them and you're asking the question, what help you need? You understand all of the other circumstances. They're saying, son, this is 20 or 30% of your marking. And you know what happens? Them just have a don't care at them.
Right. So I'm saying to you, we're not disagreeing on the point. I'm just saying don't be too hard on everyone as it relates to this thing. Let us just look at it, assess it to see what is the reason behind it.
Okay.
And then you can always go down heavy on those who did not make use of the opportunity that they had, or whatever the case may be.
Right. And I agree with you about that. But I'm
so
saying
all are agreed that it is an unacceptable level, and everybody need to collaborate to get it done.
Whatever the reason, we need to seek to solve it. That's the whole point.
Right.
You can't solve it until you know what the reasons are.
I only intervene because it's now time for the break.
Actually, I have a minute.
And I wanted you two to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, but I guess we'll continue. But this thing with the zone.
Who would have the greater responsibility to lower those numbers? The school or the parents?
It is a collective.
Yeah, but who would lead? Who would lead that charge?
It's a tough call.
I think it's the school.
The parents need to lead the charge because the school, it's coming from the school into the homes.
So I think it's the school because the school is the one that makes the decisions ultimately on who goes forward to do exams. Can you go forward to do exams without your SBA results?
Yeah, because because remember you already studied before, that's the process. You already studied. Because some schools, some skills, normally you do screening, but it says, what has happened with COVID, if you're doing the subject, we're allowing everybody to do.
So you register, but you don't pay? Or you have to pay?
You have to pay.
Before you do the SBAs?
No, the SBA starts from grade 10, some instances, and then grade 11. You complete it by about...
So you can look at the process.
Yeah.
You can look at the process.
Look at the process
to incentivize persons to do better and to monitor it more closely. So it doesn't go that distance. All right.
It's hard.
Use up the time.
It's hard. It's hard. It's very hard.
So who is it hard on?
Break.
Hard on. Are we
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. Queen Elizabeth has asked Liz Truss to become Britain's next Prime Minister, ending a 2-month transition that began when Boris Johnson was forced to resign following a series of scandals. She takes office at a time of severe economic problems at home and war in Europe. Rob Watson reports.
Britain's 56th Prime Minister and 15th of Queen Elizabeth's reign takes office at a time of mounting economic challenges and amid low expectations for success. Hoping to confound the doubters and make a bold start, Prime Minister Truss is expected to outline massive state intervention designed to freeze the price of energy. Liz Truss campaigned on a platform of smaller government and lower taxes. This suggests Prime Minister Truss will be prepared to prioritise political survival over ideological purity.
The authorities in Sindh province in southern Pakistan have made 2 more cuts to the embankment of Manchar Lake to try to stop a catastrophic overflow. An earlier breach aimed at protecting 2 nearby towns worsened flooding in dozens of villages to its northeast and at the airport of the town of Sewan. The breaching of the lake has already displaced up to 100,000 people. Salma Ashik and her family are among them. She says the conditions they live in are difficult.
The children miss their home. There are a lot of mosquitoes here and it's very hot. The children's education has been stopped. Getting food is also very difficult. We can't even cook because there is water everywhere.
An environmental official in Iran has warned that what was once the biggest lake in the Middle East could completely dry up if an emergency plan to save it is not put into effect. Lake Urmia, which once covered 5,000 square kilometres, has been shrinking for almost 2 decades due to rising temperatures, reduced rainfall, dam building and over-farming. The official said the northern and southern parts of the lake were now all but cut in 2. Rescue teams in Sichuan province in southwestern China are searching for survivors in the rubble of collapsed buildings following a big earthquake on Monday. 66 people are now known to have died and more than a dozen are still missing. Huang Tianyun is from the local police force.
We'll continue to seize every minute and second to rescue the injured and check the situation. We will also do a good job in resettling people and in health and epidemic prevention work. We will rigorously guard against aftershocks and secondary disasters.
In the regional capital, Chengdu, where the earthquake shook homes, there's been anger on social media after many residents were not allowed to leave their homes because of a coronavirus lockdown. This is Moira Alderson with the latest wild news from the BBC. The US climate envoy John Kerry has called on China to restart bilateral talks in the hope of averting the international threat posed by the climate crisis. Last month, Beijing suspended all joint Sino-US climate talks in response to a visit to the self-ruled island of Taiwan by the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Israeli police have launched an investigation into the killing of a mother and her 14-year-old daughter, who were members of the Arab-Israeli community in the city of Lod. The killings are the latest in a wave that's shaken the Arab minority in Israel. The mayor of Lod said the country had not woken up to the problem. The coach and star striker of one of the world's richest football clubs, Paris Saint-Germain, have been criticised for laughing off a question about why the team took a private jet on a short trip to a recent game. A government minister said everyone should take climate change seriously. Hugh Schofield has this report.
At a news conference, a journalist asked the question, given that the city of Nantes was only 2 hours from Paris by train, wouldn't it have been wiser to travel that way? Listening to the question, Kylian Mbappe could be seen creasing up with laughter. Trainer Christophe Galtier then made a joke in response, saying the club was in talks with its travel company to look at the possibilities of getting about by sand yacht. A torrent of criticism has now come down on the club for failing to take seriously the problem of global warming. This at the end of one of France's hottest summers on record.
Rescuers in Russia have managed to bring down 3 people trapped high on the slopes of an active volcano in the country's far east after previous efforts were thwarted by bad weather. 9 others in the guided party of trekkers died, some of them in a fall on Saturday and others from exposure in bitterly cold temperatures. At least one of the survivors is reported to be receiving hospital treatment. BBC.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM, keep listening.
Warning, when there is a hurricane warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you wanna boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard. If you a fisherman, make sure you turn off every breaker, and before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, live a bank or low line area. If you see flood waters are rising, get out, get out. Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and a sliding, get out, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose a problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling her, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
Say, let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Donna, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing. Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. Well, the men put me to sleep with some unending discourse that they were having. It hasn't even ended, in truth. Producer, you want to end it on air?
No, man, we were having a...
It was boring.
It was boring?
Mm-hmm.
And it was about life? Okay.
Boring life.
Well, you want exciting life.
I live on the edge, remember?
It might sound boring to you, but one of the problems we have in this country is that, no, but you say it, and I know that you
I'm
might
trying
not
to
be
shift
serious.
the atmosphere.
But I'm just saying, one of the problems that we have is that we tend to treat the symptoms. A lot of the times, that's what we do. And we just need to shift from that and try to get a little closer to the cause. We see it all over the place.
What would you say? What would you say? We are looking at that, General, as we bring this discussion to a close.
No. I'm not gonna, as Minister, we're moving from that discussion. Not gonna go further with that discussion. You and I can have it off air, but I don't want to carry it on.
No, because, okay.
We'll move to the next point.
All right. So to my point, really, there are many factors that you have to look at in not, as I said, don't look at symptoms, but look at root causes. One of the greatest root causes.
And we are in agreement on that principle, aren't we?
Yes, ma'am.
We've been saying it here from the first day of the show that we're going to the root. We're not picking at scabs. We're not accepting what we see and what we are told. We're going deeper so we can actually have lasting change. I am going deeper with this discourse because you are continuing it and your audience have no idea what you're talking about.
To the root cause, we're looking at the unsubmitted SBAs. Family support is one of the things I think is important. The support that we give to students out of the system, those are two. So the family and what happens at school are, I think, some of the major things in terms of looking at it deeper to get real lasting solutions.
And it seems that one of the issues, and since we're bringing the world into it, is can we accept the face value report that some of the children just don't care? We are not persons who regard a child's reaction to something that is necessary for their growth and development as being determinative of their state of mind or of the course that we need to take. And that's what the two of you were discussing. Can we really, when a child exhibits every sign of truly not caring, can we accept that as being the real cause of what is happening? And you were talking about different types of intervention. May I just say the numbers to call for this program? 619-1508, 279-8473. And if anyone in the studio has Bailey's number, I have promised her that we would give her a call so she could share with us because her birthday went by yesterday and she couldn't get through to the show. All right, that said, what is it that, how you want us to start the conversation with you and Pastor as host, you as the caller?
No.
What's your viewpoint on this business of the unsubmitted
We know it's
SBAs?
a fact that gifted children endure the same problems that children who are challenged, mentally challenged, and so on. They go through the same issues because the people who seek to impart knowledge to teach oftentimes don't understand them.
And we have a caller. You can respond after the call. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Oh, blessed morning.
Good morning.
How is everyone? Hope everyone had a good night and a good night's sleep.
Thank you. I think some of us are in fighting fit form.
Okay, great. All right. The first thing we need, Empress, and my lord, we need to take a quantum leap. Let me explain. There was a European came to Kenya one time, and he went to a village, and he had a packed bag of goodies. And he took them to a field and crossed the field to a tree and put the bag of goodies at the base of the tree. And then went back over to the children and said to them, anyone who reached there first get the prize. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if the Rafts are the great, I don't know, monks them are the Christ one monks them. Said to them, let us all line up side by side and hold hands. Mm-hmm. And we will go as fast as the slowest one. Mm-hmm. So when we reach, everyone wins.
You mean the principle of Ubuntu?
There you go. All right. COVID has exposed all the things that is inherently wrong with democracy. COVID has done that. It shows you everything that is inherently wrong with democracy. If it were God's world, it wouldn't be so. You understand? Not sure you have money, you can go to or you can raise. But everyone will get equal medicinal, whatever it needs, cakes, and not money. You understand? So then we there. And the subject of food. Mm-hmm. Remember, say food not have no hand right now, no food. You know. People go and like say, I have food while them asleep or something, the food sneak up and go in their mouth. And then take it up and put it in.
Self-control.
Yeah, it's self-control, but the man blame the food and the food innocent. All right, now, the third thing now, what we really call about Empress.
Mm-hmm. Listening.
See? No one loves us, Empress. Nobody no love us. That's why we must love ourselves. No one in the love it. No one has no empathy towards us, because had that been so, the man could have never meditate. The brethren they don't Inzu, their own Inzu sitting. He could have never meditate to substitute concrete for food. So them all worship at the altar of the Almighty Dollar, and we are just pawns in it. Them don't know how you eat, if you have to wash, you pick them clothes. Them don't know, them not check them things. We are just numbers. We are nothing but numbers. You understand? And everyone, and to all our people here. When we look at what Vladimir Putin, what he's doing presently to Ukraine, and everyone up in arms about that. Yet, with England and America, it's us, and to Africa, nobody in pay that no mind yet. We put our shoe vitriol toward Putin, and we are love up what them do to the Western Hemisphere and the Incas and the Inuits, because them like I didn't name Arawa. The Inuits and Indian people of the Western Hemisphere.
You caught my attention with the statement you made that no one loves us, and I'd love to hear a little bit more why you say that, but I'm gonna say this in response to it. I'll ask you a question and then I'll make a statement. Can we love without knowledge? Human beings. Can human beings love without knowledge? And the reason I ask you that question is because we are taught, and I mean, I shouldn't say we, I am taught to see God as love, recognize his treatment of me as the ultimate expression of love, and when I experience and return that love, my love for him compels me to love his creation. And I do that relying on his knowledge as creator. I don't do it because I know you. I I can't love you without knowledge. I don't even understand you without knowledge of you. But if I can associate my relationship with you to the relationship I have with my own Creator, whose goodness and love I experience, then I am commanded to love you as I love myself, because I know myself. And I give to you as I would give to myself, based on my knowledge of self. And if I am lazy in discovering who I am and what I am about, then I'm going to be lazy in loving you, because I can't give you more than I give to myself. And so I ask, can we love without knowledge? When you speak about how we view international affairs and how we would glorify one over the other, we're picking sides. We're picking sides based on the knowledge we have or what's fed to us about certain situations. And when we learn the truth, or when we get another narrative, we shift. So I ask, can we love without knowledge? And where does knowledge begin? What is the knowledge that should spur us into this relationship of love with one another? You're right. If Mr. Leachin was thinking about, if he used his knowledge of himself and his needs and his ambitions and where he come from and what he is subjected to. I mean, I remember when NCB was in deep disgrace and he seemed to have been in house arrest in Jamaica because things were happening with bondholders. It was huge sums of money, and it don't behave the same as when I am in debt or you are in debt, because if you owe money on your house, then sell your house. But there are some sums of money that when you owe it, it's not as simple as just selling your house and your car. When your debt is of a different magnitude, sometimes the only thing they can do is just leave you in your very wealthy accommodation, but you can't even move.
A moment, Empress.
Yes.
I wouldn't say, but I say, when your debt is in a different class.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
Right. So when you're absolutely. So you get what I'm saying. He's been through struggles, and if he could relate those struggles, equate it to what another man's experiences, he wouldn't do what he's doing.
And him defend it now.
But he has company, because understand that he couldn't just get out there and do it. Many others, and is that love? Is that they love him more than they love us? Why they would be generous to him and he can do what he wants? Just questions I'm putting forward. Yes, to provoke our thought process. What is the knowledge we need to acquire about self and about each other that would cause us to behave better?
You know what the thing is, Honorable Empress? Remember saying, them did overthrow Christ and his world, you know, and I build this world here where I match up, you know, and as people that Christ it I match up. Because if it's all match up, God Almighty will arise. You understand?
Yeah.
But people that try to embrace it and brace it up and hold it before they go down on them knee and pray and feed match up faster. Because after the Christ world.
But I mean, you're highlighting another thing, you know, the pride that we take in our false knowledge.
Yeah.
Because you go off on a narrative, you're convinced that he is not who he say he is, or you're convinced that what you need should look different. And then even when it is clear, or the narrative shift and you could follow it, your pride gives you such an attachment to what you were pushing, as Pastor said, pride of life, that you can't detach. Well, you know how the story ends anyway.
I did not know that Jerusalem, I think Jerusalem being at the sky.
You did not know, sorry, I missed that. Say that again. You did not know what about Jerusalem?
Jerusalem was in the sky.
I admit you got that me hear him saying also, yeah, it's a real place.
But listen, but the spiritual significance of Jerusalem, you know, is where your altar is. Because remember, Jerusalem is the site where the temple was built, the temple of which God said, if you even think about this temple when you pray, I hear an answer.
There you go.
Place of worship.
One more thing.
Yes.
Whether an event happened 500 years ago, and let me repeat, or 50 years, or 5 years, or 5 weeks, or 5 seconds.
Or a millennia.
occupies the same space in your consciousness as soon as you become aware of it.
Of course, that is the beauty of prophecy. It speaks for all time. As soon as you get the understanding of it, it is applicable and it is powerful. It achieves the same result. You know, you talked about Jerusalem. Jerusalem is now an idea, a concept, a belief system. Because if you can think about it, yes, and it gives you the same effect as when you're standing on the spot. How beautiful is that?
True.
Yeah.
And I will leave you with this, Empress.
Yes.
You see the eye and the past and your loved one. You see the eye them being black.
Yes.
The majority of your bloodline, your family, your kinfolk is still in Africa.
Yes. Blessed.
Okay. All right.
And sometimes I do miss my kinfolk.
You need to go there more often.
Yeah. I do miss my kinfolk. I mean, I say it and then I have to repeat it because it is really true that you have an affinity and you can feel it.
You said something which is so very powerful. Even for the Jews, even when Jerusalem was destroyed,
walls broken down,
it still remained a place home, and it evoked certain things in them.
Yeah, man.
Which is so very powerful.
It bring you in alignment.
Yeah, and even when what has come home to me, those 3 young men who were asked to worship.
Yes.
and them said, they had left it in ruins, and they said, but no, it represented principles for living.
Yeah. And it's those principles that we talk about, that we are advocating.
That are eternal.
Yes, it's those principles that you can tap into it and get to the margin where growth and change occurs. Even though it's very painful to live in the margin, I can tell you that. It is a place of great uncertainty and instability.
Welcome, caller. How are you? I think I heard the phone ringing.
It's a spiritual phone. Okay, but I do want, please remember, find Bailey's number. I think you have it, Lowell? That number for our listener. I know that I have it. Yes, because I really do want to. Yesterday, the issue came up of whether our lines were the subject of sabotage. I would not be so...
speak against it.
Well, what did I say now? I would not be so vain as to think anybody is singling out the lines during our show to create an issue. But some of the experiences that people mention, you have to wonder, is it possible? Well, I say all things are possible if you believe. Well, I speak against that one. All right, so let me just show you the number. Lowell, can I show you the number? Or who should I send it to off the team? Huh? All right, let me send it. Denise.
Yes, so you know.
Oh, you have it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. That point, and you touched it, Ubuntu. This
it's an African concept.
The concept
that's what they say.
Of open source sharing. Because the first time I heard the word Ubuntu, it was in relation to a software.
Oh,
yes.
I've experienced it a long time because I remember somebody said to me, because we interact internationally with a lot of Africans, and there's a concept around football and thing that they've discovered that they used to work in terms of doing community mobilization. So they told us, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, we go together, which comes, it's an African proverb. Yes. And they were talking about these children and the sweetie. You know that story?
Oh, the same story that our friend just recited here on air.
Yeah, it's an important concept and principle that they use in terms of the work that they do, in terms of mobilizing, because they understand it clearly. And so, and it's very different from what other cultures do and think about, so. Yep.
So I learned of it in software now, applying the same principle that when you design something, its greatest potential for achieving change and growth is if you make it available to all who want it, free of cost. So it was open source. Any device could download and utilize it, and it took out of the market the competitive advantage of those who want to hold you hostage with licenses and relationships that could interfere with your ability to use it. Of course, most software developers now are using revenue models that compel you to pay. If it's even 1 cent,
they pay you.
You're paid per month until. But I think it is. I think it is still available. Good morning, Miss Denise.
Good morning. How are you?
I am very well. So, how are you? And did you enjoy your birthday yesterday?
It was wonderful. Starting with waking up to text and miss calls.
Yes.
And then to you guys.
Yes.
And Mary. It was really beautiful.
And Percy's singing.
Huh?
And Percy's singing.
Oh yes, I'm good. I'm getting there. Actually, I realize that we do have some great singers in the team.
Well, yes.
Great singers in the family.
Maybe it's 40 singing she's thinking about.
No, I don't know why you're preempting my sentences.
I'm just drawing it out.
Hi, Mr. Lawrence. Thank you so much for being a part of my beautiful day. It was really, really good. It touched me. I was teary-eyed.
You are most welcome, my dear.
It brought me to tears because, when persons take the time to do a kind gesture, it doesn't have to be monetary, for me to appreciate it. I appreciate that more than anybody knows, just the thought. So I really thank you guys for that.
You are most welcome.
I hope you're listening, okay? I hope you are listening for this because, trust me, that was really special. I didn't know we had those singers, but boy, we could make some albums, Mrs. Lion. Make some albums and make enough money.
Oh, as you say, can you imagine the Morning Connection sings? Because Lady Love sang songs to the teacher and the students.
Yes,
returning to school.
I heard her, yes.
Yes, and she'll be pleased to know that Lloyd has found the CD. And is trying to get to that song. At some point, we are one step closer to playing the song. Of course, it is on a CD, so we have to get it into some digital format. So, because nobody's playing CDs in studio anymore. But anyway, it's wonderful to hear your voice. I'm sorry you're having such a hard time getting through to the show. We felt like it was necessary to make the effort and call you. We don't call everybody.
And I do appreciate. I do appreciate. Really, really do appreciate it. Yes, because I wanted to just let you guys know on air how I feel and how much I, really, really lift my cap to you guys and everybody who took the time, even a second or a minute, to say happy birthday and hoping, that I would have a good day. So that means a lot. And there was someone else I wanted to ask you the name of the other person. I think he had given his name, but I missed it at the time. He had also wished that the lady was having a
Oh Lord, my dear, there were a few people who remembered you and wanted and said it on air that they hope you'd have a lovely birthday. All right, my dear. The other treat for you is that we just blew past the 8:30 break while chatting to you, so we have to take our station break now. Please continue to have a lovely day and keep tuned.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM, keep listening.
Warning, when there is a hurricane warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you wanna boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard if you a fisherman. Make sure you turn off every breaker, and before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, river bank, or low line area, if you see flood waters are rising, get out, get out. Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and sliding, get out, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, away do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose a problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling him, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all, you can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Morning and welcome back. Good morning. Welcome to The Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And Rastafari love to the family.
And also to you, sir, and your family.
Give thanks. I want to make a little contribution this morning.
All right, we'll take it.
I'm trying to focus on simplicity. And in the simplest way, I'm trying to describe what is happening in our world. There are two main vibration passions that contend in our creation. Two. Let's call one of them the one love vibration of the Almighty. Let's call the other the one self vibration of the adversary, so to speak. Now, currently, we don't have to think too long or too far to realize that the one self vibration
not only is the one in vogue today, but if every race or every nation would adopt that one self approach and vibration, that would never guarantee peace and security in the world. And the only formula that can and will guarantee peace and immortality is the one love vibration being in vogue for all time. I want, and before I leave, I have already advised, well, let us move in accordance with how we have been instructed. We have been given 3 firsts. And what we need to do is put those 3 firsts together. Because that is, if 3 are going to be first, will have to happen in a dead heat. Well, that's my contribution this morning. That is my contribution.
All right.
Give thanks.
But I want to leave you to think on something for me.
Yes.
The one creator.
Yes.
Desires at-one-ment with him, frequently pronounced as atonement because of fallen man, but he requires us to come back to his one self.
Right.
I am just wondering, as you outline your thought process, if what the adversary is promoting isn't the many selves, so that fractured body would be in defiance and exist contrary to the at-one-ment, the unity
that is
in. I just leave you to think on that, because I understood what you were saying in terms of persons being selfish in their pursuit and in their agendas, and thereby fracturing the unity that can give you one love.
Well, I think we have to lift it above persons. It is really a spiritual vibration.
But that vibration is to destroy, it's not to unite. Just a thought.
Let me put it this way.
Just a thought.
I listened to the first said, well, this is one of his quotes. We have to become something bigger than ourselves. I know it is very difficult.
I only wanted to leave you. I wanted to leave you to think on it, because I do have another caller. I just want you to think on it and see how it, affects the process by which you are defining the problems of the world. All right, my brother, thanks for the contribution.
Blessings.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yeah, good morning, Sister Minute.
Good morning, righteousness.
Come on, blessed good morning to Pastor and everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on, Sister Minute. Yeah, I just there listening just for too long to listen, yeah, man. But for me, I say still, I'm over there. So, what me say now, ask Pastor.
I'm here. Go ahead.
Yes, Pastor, yeah, man. Like family to coming up, growing up here about Yahweh, and Yahshua. Now, ask me not about Hebrew and Latin, but what I say now, I think minimum close Rastaman family planning here, and the master talk about Yahweh and Yahshua. So, Pastor, now, who you edify me, who you think? I don't know what it is, but confirmation. Who Yahweh would I call Yahweh? Who is Yahweh?
Yahweh is the way that we have sought to put into English language the name of God, because it was not spoken, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeshua is a different thing. That's what you're saying, right? Yeshua versus Yahweh.
No. What my understanding is among Rasta.
Mm-hmm.
Then say Yahweh would be God. Instead of and Jesus would be Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
Son of God.
Right. So that's what you're thinking. So what is on your mind really, though, when you ask that question?
Why I say that now? If Yahweh is the Father, oh God, the Almighty, the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahshua will be the Son of God, which is Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Any man where say them a prophet and a come call himself Yahshua. I'll King Yahshua. I want Yahshua then is Jesus. And because right now we have to edify the people and we can mislead people. And people can prophesy, oh, the world will go flood out in water and go make a flood and then go one place of a place. Because prophecy and them things, the Bible tell you in Matthew 24. So we start make the people them go straight. My sister, I tell me, say, to get on phone and send it on my phone. Man, I prophesy, that one place of a place.
Okay.
And them things, they must learn to one Yahshua there. One Yahshua, King Yahshua there. And it's Jesus Christ. So, Jesus Christ's name is one of the highest names. 50 and 2, 9 and 10. I'm going to come to Palestine now. I'm God me the evil. I'm going to do it himself. I'm going to come. I'm God me the evil.
So what is your concern? Your concern is about the deception? That's the concern?
Yes, and the prophecy.
Okay, all right. But friend, but remember, the proof of any prophecy is in when it is manifest, so we'll know who are the true prophets and so on. All right, so that means that what has happened, the person is a false prophet based on the test that he used. Okay, all right.
Yeah, man, so people must not call themselves.
Brethren, but it says in the last days many people going to come in his name saying they are so that is given. That he told us that. So yeah, so don't worry yourself.
All right, righteousness. Thank you.
Good.
Bringing truth into the picture. I'm responding to a comment from Denatal Basco online. Let me share it. He says to both of us, knowledge, even in the search for knowledge, there should be moderation, lest we learn things better left unknown. And he asked, is this so, my learned family? And as this morning you read a proverb to me, Lowell, that came to mind as I read this question. This is from Proverbs 25, verse 27. It is not good to eat too much honey, nor is it honorable to search out matters that are too deep.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. As I read the question, I said, yeah, that's what that proverb was saying. You pursue knowledge, yes, pursue it diligently and bring yourself up, but it is not honorable to search out matters that are too deep. Mm-hmm. Some things you need to
moderation.
Always is.
Including your search for knowledge.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
We are well. How are you?
Yeah,
you have a radio on in the background?
Turn off your radio, my brother.
Yes. True. Sorry for that. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. What are you saying to us today now?
I'm still speaking about the righteous government, Mr. Net. And I would like to know, between all of you, what knowledge do you have about the righteous government?
You mean you want us to disclose the knowledge we have right here on the air in the conversation with you?
It's not a secret. Righteous government is not a secret.
Yes, but you know, Branch, we have a limited amount of time to deal with the callers who come in. I can't spend the time on that with you.
You not say no long something. They just want to know if something you believe in. Yes,
of course, you've been listening to us. You know we believe in the righteous government. You have heard us say many times that His throne is established on these principles of righteousness and justice. And we believe that the manifestation of the kingdom of God is now. And we are doing our part in this little area of the garden to get the word out and to encourage and to build up the knowledge and awareness of these principles.
The thing is my problem, so many false prophets are out.
Yes, but you can't be distracted by that, Branch. You have to focus on sharing the truth as you know it.
Yes. We want people to understand the thing because the time is come for a change in the earth. Because God's blueprint is here for people to see and understand the things that God laid out. But till we get the false teachment, false leader, mislead us.
Okay.
And then it causes a problem in the world because people don't know what to believe because you hear this, you hear that, you hear the other. But it's only one truth.
Okay.
So, I is the one who born by the prophecy. But true, the people don't understand the Bible. No, everything them says is Jesus. But Jesus tell you of himself.
So, Branch, hold on a second. Let me ask you something. You've been saying this for quite some time, certainly for as long as we have been doing this program.
It's really from 1975.
What will indicate to you that they now hear, they believe, and they are acting?
Well, I want to see more action then, sir.
You want to see more action in response to your message?
How are you going to see it?
Now, when the people speak what is written in the Bible, man.
Yeah, but there are so many people. How are you going to hear to know that all the people are doing it?
But do you believe that we on this show are doing it?
Yes, I hear you talk many things with attached to it.
Yes.
But we need more. Because you don't see the amount of violence and the amount of this and that is wrong.
But remember, Branch, that he said it would be a remnant.
Just ask.
You know me?
Yeah, but you say you want more, but the more will never be more than a remnant. When they emptied out Jerusalem, is 10%, is 1/10 of the people were left, 90% went into exile. So
you're not understanding my point, miss.
No, I'm not understanding your point because I don't think you're ever going to be satisfied. That's why producer was asking you. Lowell was asking you how you're going to know. You're confined at home. Your contact to the world is limited. How are you ever going to know that there is enough being done?
When I heard, I have to heard because it's people and people talking.
Well, you listen to only one station?
We don't want to lose him.
Anyway, we have another call, my brother.
Branch, we have to take another call. We have to...
You hear me say? That's why I did ask Pastor to give me a call that I could have get the address and write him something.
All right, I'm going to remind him. I will remind him.
No, Paul. Me want somebody to call me, man, then me can write.
I have your number here. I think you said you wanted somebody to get it. You want Wayne to get it?
All right, we have another call. We do have another call.
All right,
Branch. We'll talk to you another time.
Pushing me into the other call. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Greetings again. I had to call back.
Yes.
I fell into a pothole.
What? Really? Literally?
Yes, not literally.
Okay.
Mentally. I want to just cut to the chase.
Yes.
Can we go in search of the name of the Almighty? And let us allow the word to speak for itself. I am reading from Malachi chapter 1 and verse 6. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 6.
I thought you'd have read from Genesis when he declared himself to Moses.
No,
when he called his name. Because that's what the man was asking about,
No, that wouldn't be the name for now.
It's a name. It's a name that changes. But interestingly,
that is what he told Moses to tell them at that time.
So it's a new name him have now?
No. Let's put it this way. When a child is born, they are fed on milk.
I see.
It's only when they begin to grow teeth that you can start to give them the hard food.
Okay.
So it was something like that.
Okay.
So let us. I'm reading from Malachi chapter 1 and verse 6.
What it?
You're reading one verse? One verse. You can do one verse.
You have to shorten it,
A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master.
Mm-hmm. Where is my honor? Where is my respect?
If then I be a master, where is my fear? Saith the Lord of hosts unto you, O priest that despise my name. And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name? Verse 11 answers that question. It says, far from the rising of the sun.
Russ, I'm gonna stop you there because you're kind of losing the love of the people who are listening to you. You were talking about his name. There was a conversation about Yahweh and Yeshua. We're not going to go down into.
No, I'm saying the Almighty. I pray thee. The Almighty is speaking in verse 6.
And what is his name? Let's cut to the chase. What is the name?
The Almighty is speaking again in verse 11. For from the rising of the sun, even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles.
So what is the name?
What is the
name?
Sorry, please.
No,
What is the name?
We cannot.
All right, my brother, you're going to have to call again here. We cannot continue this.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Okay, so we lost the call that was holding. All right, so I know my brother is still listening. You have to be patient with us and remember what we're doing here. We are trying to allow as many persons as possible to share in the discussion. And right now, I do not believe there is any believer who is uncertain about the name of the Almighty or who is perplexed about the name of the Almighty. Mm-hmm. Righteousness had a particular question. He raised it, Pastor answered it. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to your listeners and your precious callers.
Hi, Neville.
Oh, you do, Neville?
I'm good, man. Good. The C6 results are out.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw it. We commented on it.
How did your students do?
Yes. That's what
well, most of my students did very well. The best pass I got was a girl from Holy Childhood. She got 6 1s and 4 2s.
Wow.
Yeah, so she trying to get into St. George's College, 6th form, because they accept girls down there and they have a better program.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the lowest performer? How did that?
Well, most people don't like getting grade 3s,
Yes. So that's the lowest grade.
I got 2 grade 3 in maths, but the persons who got the grade 3s in maths, they didn't really like maths, so it was to drag them along. But that can push them through to UTEC. So
right. But so what I'm hearing then, no failures.
No, we don't deal with failures.
Then not that may I try get to man. We celebrate with you. Job well done.
Just that, as the children from the inner city celebrate their CXC passes.
Yes.
I just want to remind the adults that your address in the inner city will form a critical part of your child's resume. So you have to start cleaning up your areas and cleaning up the mindset in order to help these children so that when they see their addresses at the workplace, they don't marginalize them because of it.
Give me an idea of how you clean that up, because where you live is where you live. What are we talking about when you say clean it up?
I'm talking about like the girl from Holy Childhood. She live in Ratbat City, right?
Mm-hmm.
A place named St. Joseph Road. Now, if you look at the police statistics, that is one of the murderous division in Jamaica. We have to get those murder rates in our community down so that the community can have a better reputation. And the adults need to clean up the areas more, sweep up the gateway, sweep up the place and make the place look more refreshed so that the children can have a better environment to live in. Because it's not where you're living, it's how you live.
So that is a general necessity, but I wondered if you were talking about parents literally sitting with their kids and saying, no, your address might signal to an employer that you're a person of loose morals or poor education, or exactly. You need to govern yourself in this way in the work environment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Neville, can you just stay with us so we can take the station break?
I think you're onto something, my brother.
Yeah.
A difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
People, are you listening?
If you choose to remain at home after an evacuation order has been issued, you do so at your own risk.
Get out! Get out! Heed the warning!
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town.
And the best taxi service.
They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
Need a cab from anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Don, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, away I do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose a problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling her, cause trust me.
Voiceless Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back.
Yes, so I'm just imploring the parents out there to start cleaning up your community in terms of cleaning up the rubbish and see if you can get your boy child or your girl child to cut down on the violence in these areas if we want to help these children to live in a better Jamaica come 2050, 2040 when most of us won't be around here.
Yes.
The second thing I want to say before you talk, Miss Minette Pastor, is that I just want to remind the listeners that we have all the CXC past papers for the last 20 years on a thumb drive, and I can carry them back to Best FM to have this thumb drive for any listeners out there who have children who want access to past papers that they can't buy, they could get it, free of cost, and I have the capes as well, and also I have the
CSEC?
The PEP pass papers, which is very critical for the PEP student.
Is there any for CSEC?
Yeah, man, that's what they said.
Yeah, man.
Oh, CSEC. Oh, I thought I don't know why I heard CXC.
And I have all the subjects for CSEC, all of them, on the thumb drive. So I could download them on a thumb drive and leave them with FM for the valuable callers and listeners who have children out there who cannot afford to buy pass papers. You know?
But you know, I really want to congratulate you in terms of your input and your decision to say, this is what I can do. Because I really do believe that a lot of people are just sitting on the fence and saying, we can't do anything, it done gone bad already. But here you are, giving off your time and your expertise to help people, and that is how the change going to happen. You know? That is how that's how the revolution really begins. When people can say, I am responsible, I can do something, no matter how small it is. I can
use what you have.
Yes, use what is in your hand, because it's when Moses was.
My 79-year-old mother told me yesterday.
Yeah.
In counseling, because I go to my mother for counseling. You know?
Yes.
She said, with the state of the world now, and we see where Russia 8 oligarchs have been killed by unknown mysterious circumstances. Some of the oligarchs, because they oppose Putin, you find them walking out of buildings, dead in the swimming pool, poisoning friends with their family. You hear about those?
Yeah, so we hear. Yeah, go ahead.
She said Jamaica is no different. I must be careful who I talk on the radio, because people feeding off the JLP and the PNP corruption out there, and they will hurt me. And I'm very valuable to her, and she don't want me to die before her, because she's 79, and she have 3 diseases in her body, so I must let me foot to the walking, help the children more, and come off the radio and less talking about their politics, because they will destroy you. That's what my mother told me yesterday.
And here you are this morning, disobeying her.
Tell me what she tell me.
Earlier, Neville, we were talking about, I put a question to Percy about living in that place of innovation and change, of stress and turmoil and risk. And one of the things I wrote down, you're talking about it now, some of us have to advocate for the poor and take risks and draw the anger of the establishment towards us. If they only have 2 eyes. If they are looking at you, they have less energy to destroy and to kill and to beat down. And that is what some of us have to do. And it comes with risk. I applaud you for taking the risk, even when your mother make it clear to you that she don't want you to do it, because that's really how change is going to occur. Some of us going to have to take risk. Put ourselves out there and become victims of abuse and mistreatment because of the positions that we're taking.
All right, even the Prime Minister now, you hear the look out against socialism and communism and all of those things.
Yes.
Did you know that the Finance Minister, the Honorable Nigel Clark, did you know that he's the President of the Bankers Association of Jamaica?
How you get that? It's not him. It's not Nigel. It's a different person.
No, man. The Finance Minister, man.
No, man. Recently, no, man. Not Bankers Association.
You mean the default president or the elected president?
There's a difference.
Because I don't think he can be elected the president
of the Bankers
Association. Look here. You have some dealing with the Bankers Association of Jamaica.
Yeah, but he's not president. I think the guy from.
Yeah, I saw his name recently.
I'm coming back here with this.
Yes.
But let me tell you this. How you think these politicians invest their money in this economy? How you think they invest it? So that people can say, boy, you know, my MP, he invests in this, so we can try this to get yourself out of poverty. Did you know that they have a lot of shares on the stock market in some prominent companies?
Yeah, but
And did you know that the leader of the GLP and the leader of the PNP, they have prominent businesses in Jamaica that is not registered in Jamaica, it's registered abroad because of taxation purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have people leading the country and want to lead it to the promised land, and them are try to avoid paying less taxes. What kind of system that?
It's a question.
While them are dig out tax out of your left, right, and center.
Well, that's why earlier, Neville, I was saying that the lawyers and the professionals who know these rules and understand these things must apply the pressure by taking the necessary action against these things. There's a whole body of work to be done, in building up the laws and regulations that bring into effect some of the principles we talk about. Yeah.
I heard, let me say this to you before I leave.
Yes.
My lawyer, he told me that if he's not earning $1 million a month, he's not in business. So therefore, you said the economic man, he's going to eat off the environmental man. So while the environmental man talk about protect the fishes in the sea and the fish in the river and the crayfish in the river, the man who look money in no business with that, The time I think about him prostate and him diabetes and him heart disease, so go get the best treatment in London and in New York and in Florida, That's what they're doing in Jamaica. They set up a lot of people to fail, especially males. You hear the distribution of the COVID money across the island, the survey that they did, that most people don't get no money.
Yeah,
let the media advertise how much money the government let out, and when them drill down, women get more money than men, same way in the system. What kind of system this? Where's the transparency in the system? Are these figures that they're quoting so that people can go check it themselves?
So you're back to the point that you and I are in agreement on, that those who know the rules and know what to do to like the referee and the system that can keep it honest need to do their work, because the average person
going to do it, Miss Minette, because they fear losing the $1 million a month and being blacklisted and being ostracized like what they're doing the oligarchs in Russia.
So maybe,
that's why we have to be a higher calling. That's a higher calling.
Higher calling.
And no purpose.
And poor people, those who call themselves poor, you need better social living. We need better social living.
Correct.
My three friends who migrate to Canada, they're getting $120,000 a month from the school, But guess what reaches three of them? They're paying mortgage, they're paying car loan, they're sending children to school, and they're living single. You earn $120,000 a month. You're going to need a spouse who is earning at least $100,000, or even $120,000, or even $200,000 a month for that household to flourish. But poor people who call themselves poor, they're trying to live as single mothers and single fathers.
Let me ask you a question, Neville. I want to ask you a question. Yes. What would cause you as a professional to take a greater risk in fighting for the change in some of these areas that you have targeted? I ask you because your answer to me about those who have the skills to push harder, you said they don't want to risk their $1 million a month. So I'm asking you, what would cause a person to leave the safety net and take some risk?
You see, when I do my financial analysis,
yes,
the older I am getting,
yes,
is the poorer I am getting.
So you now need to take more risk?
No, listen why I do what I do. I'm just telling you this. The GPS on Friday, they came out and tell the world that in Jamaica, those who thief light, GPS take 33% of the risk, and 66% of the risk, they put it on to the people who pay in light bill, right?
Oh, those numbers came out? Because we were talking about it the week before.
From GPS started and another program.
Okay.
Oh, so they got the number.
Right, so me never know who paying light bill, water rate, and cable bill every month, which come to $30,000 out of my budget. I have to pay for the man in Gregory Park 66% to thief light.
Yes.
and water and cable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I live in Portmore where they raise the toll every year. Land tax over here is very expensive. And it costs me approximately now what, 90,000 a month to live, just to maintain food, clothes, shelter, and tender loving care. Based on the future, when my pension and come and my salary cut, I can't maintain that when I am 70-year-old, you know. So I going back into the inner city to live. And when me get old and in the inner city, me no want nobody come abuse me because me no have no pension to go live a France like the Prime Minister in about.
So there's nothing that would cause you...
in the inner city to plant some seed so that when me get old, if me get old, and me down there, me still can do my social work. And there'll be adults down there who I help, who will look out for me. That's why I do it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I
have the insight now. Thanks, Neville. Thanks, Neville. Let me take another call. There's another caller who's been holding.
Thank you very much.
But I thank you for that insight. And you know how you are making your contribution is crucial. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to the Morning Connection.
Pastor and Minute.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I wanted to call from yesterday.
You did call yesterday.
After a certain man from Manchester called.
Oh, I'm glad you resisted it.
You must.
I didn't get through.
All right. So, what do you want to say about that?
There were people in Africa when the white men came with soft heart, knowing what they are, but they still friend them until it was the date when they what they really came for. They couldn't help. There's some people that call this station. Yeah, maybe some people are going to say, me too. So you know exactly what they're going to talk about. You know, so sometimes you don't give them that long and continue tracing with them. It's a waste of time. Sheppy should only get half a minute on any program.
That's why you call us.
I hope you have more to say than to bad talk, Sheppy.
Look, Sheppy bad talk everybody.
No man. But,
yeah, but
right,
I'm asking you to break the pattern.
You shift.
Yeah, give me more than that bad talking of Sheppy.
You know.
What do you feel about what's going on with the Innswood land?
Remember, I mentioned it maybe a couple of months ago that this guy, Shakir William.
Oh, Shakir. The chairman of
SCJ.
SCJ.
He should hold a post like that. So him look like him remind me of the men in the 60s that I grew up with, where everybody respect and say, yes, sir, yes, master. It's the truth.
So you would profile him based on his ethnicity?
Not everybody, but most.
But him?
I have a 7 cents. Not 6, I have a 7 cents.
Okay. Well, can I tell you that Mr. Leachin has given a report that he has not shifted his commitment from farming and that the publication
is a lie.
It's not true.
It was in Observer. 110 this morning came on Observer Live. And it's a lie. That's the headline.
Pastor, who you believe is grabbing up all this land in Jamaica and the beaches and the river? Who you think is doing it?
Well, we see it. We don't have to think. We see it happening. The big, the rich, the famous.
The name that you just call is the main man behind it.
He can only be buried in one spot if he is actually buried.
Well, we don't care about him buried. We should stop him.
Okay.
I don't care if he was dumped in the sea or drunk or eat him or them burying 6'6". It don't matter. Where I do, I put we back in a slavery and that me find out.
The point I'm making is that he can't take it anywhere with him, so it's right here for us to deal with. We can deal with it now, we can deal with it when he's dead, but we have the ability to deal with it.
There's one other thing about this when we want to talk about.
Yes.
Did you see any change or heard of any change in this country since 62? Any great change? Politics?
Did we miss something in the news? There was some great change?
No.
Oh! Well, you just want to ask us a rhetorical question.
So you say, what you think there has been no change, right?
No, some people said there was no change. The only thing come good out of from 62 was sport. But I thought some great change came 1972, and I'm not talking politics.
You're talking about Mr. Michael Manley's reform programs?
Yes. Wasn't that some change?
Well, maybe you're asking someone of the wrong generation.
You didn't heard of it or read of it?
But you asked me if I saw some change.
Have you ever read any of his books?
No, I haven't. I have not.
I had two of his books.
I read his daughter's book.
Rachel?
Yes.
You need to get some of his books and read them.
Because think about
what would it do for me, for the elevation of my mind and my thinking? You don't believe that my ideas on progress or nationhood or any of those things would be good enough unless I borrow from his mind, his writings?
You can borrow from any book, even the Bible. I read the Bible. I know the Bible when I was younger from front to back, but I don't remember most of it. No.
I just wonder why you think it would be necessary for me to read his book.
Not really, but there's one book you have where that he dealt with economic and growth and all those stuff. It could help nowadays if some student in school would get that book and read it.
Okay.
All right. I never decry reading and history and being informed on happenings. But sometimes I try to take it from a different source.
One more thing.
Yes.
I hope the person chewing the word at since 62, there was a lot of state killing as far as about. I don't get the full details, But which one do you think was the worst out of all? Since 62.
What is the worst of death and death?
There has to be some worst.
Why? Death is death.
No, but you have first-degree murder and second-degree murder.
Well, I can tell you to the victim, it don't matter.
No, it's just that I don't hear anybody talking about 2010 current.
Because my brother, because I think persons want to talk about what's happening now and how do we deal with it. Not to say that the history not important, but we don't want to keep going back to the history and who did what and the blame game. We want to focus our attention on how we've resolved what's happening now. So we're not mired in the past and the next 40 years people are still talking about, what happened in the past. We want to be focused on building for the future. We're in that place of change. We can't keep looking back.
Yeah. Why have the argument? I kept hearing about Green Bay killing.
Okay.
Yeah, not from me and focus. You gotta focus on on the thought leadership that we are seeking to exercise on the program. Don't be pulled away from the focus by
the side issues.
By the side issues, the side show.
All right then. Yes, sir. We have another caller. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
You get the point, what I'm saying.
Of course we do.
All I'm hearing about is we're killing.
Okay.
Yeah, we get the point and we are trying to shift you from it because...
We have to focus on the realities. What are the principles we're going to use in order about bringing about real solution that will affect everybody? Because some people love to go to the past because they're trying to deflect from what is the reality at the present time. And we're not going to get into that. You understand?
And your contribution to this program is broader than what, say, a Sheppy does. Everybody know when Sheppy come, he's going to defend, and there's nothing they do that is too atrocious for him to defend. We don't want you fall into that.
Miss Minute, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
The Green Bay talking is not from Sheppy.
Oh, well, whoever it is.
Whoever it is.
All right, brother, we're going to take another call.
Okay, then. Thanks.
All right.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. Call disappeared. Oh,
but
Conrad said to me, Pegasus, the way the phone lines have become unstable. Yeah, it really is a concern. What were you saying?
What are the 4 values of Ubuntu?
Ubuntu.
It focuses on 4 of survival, solidarity, spirit, compassion, respect, and dignity.
I really wanted you to say that. Let me write them down.
Survival.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Solidarity, spirit, compassion, and respect, and dignity. Yes, good morning, Ross Paul. How are you?
Yeah, I think the gentleman before, no really wrong with come on to Sheppy. You know what I'm saying?
So you're not about to visit it now. We know he's not wrong. We want fresh ideas.
JPFM no entertain Sheppy.
Well, we entertained him for 4 or 5 minutes. But let's not spend time talking about Sheppy.
When I'm going to say, I will encourage people for you to rise.
Are you still talking about Sheppy? You think, you see what you did now? You repeated Sheppy's foolishness, thus extending it.
Yeah.
No, anyway,
Talk your talk, brother. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you know, sorry, you know that center man? The people are blocking the road at center man.
Yeah, it's there. It was in the paper yesterday. It's there today again.
Have you gone to take any pictures?
Huh?
Have you gone to take any pictures or to?
No, I have no reason.
Okay.
But what I do, I'm glad of them standing out. You know.
Yes. So I want you to explain that to me, that you have no reason. What do you mean by you have no reason?
No, I have no reason to went up there and took pictures. When I like that work there.
I thought you were a photojournalist.
Yeah, I'm a journalist, but not in that way. I'm a freelancer. I have to get paid.
Okay, so your advocacy and your feelings of solidarity have to be within the context of how you're paid?
I'm a journalist, you know. I work for Amnesty, you know. I'm an Amnesty informant, you know. You know what I mean?
So wouldn't your pictures tell a story to Amnesty International? Fighting for human rights?
I never really have that in mind. You understand?
Yeah, I'm pushing you a little, Russ, because we are trying to shift persons into greater levels of action.
I'm talking about now, because that is just the road. I'm talking about the injustice with the land that's going on in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Because the road thing, I don't know if you remember that road did fix from 2016, start fix from 2016.
Which one is this, in St. Thomas?
Yeah, the south. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we understand that good infrastructure that allows people to carry out economic activity, go to school, get to the hospital, and so on, that is an important part of human rights benefits getting to citizens. And when the infrastructure is degraded or not maintained or not installed, it is a severe interference in their enjoyment of those rights. So when people are pressing for road, it's not because they feel so concerned about the road per se. It is how it is impacting their livelihood and their welfare. That's a big human rights issue. I'm only raising it with you because we are trying to.
I know what you're saying.
Ah, right.
Human rights, what I talk about most, because the people them hold them own up there. Them hold them own, you know. Because them a protest and thing, and the taxi man no really bought out. You understand? Because the taxi man them a do for them part out.
All right. Okay.
You understand? So, with my part, what I'm doing now is advocating for the people now. No, this land thing now. No, you believe that someone will just get up and tell a lie on the richest man in Jamaica. Or if Lena just get up and say something and write something and like that, and no, they're not going to do that. If I'm not lying, maybe him have a share in a Lena too. You understand? So when people are going to say Lena a lie and all it, we don't really buy them kind of story.
Oh, he said that.
Raspal, let us not let this descend into who say what and whatever. We're trying to get some solutions as it relates to the things that are happening now. Yeah? We don't want this just to become a talk shop. So what are we putting on the table in terms of how we can deal with some of these issues?
So that's why I say, you know, constitutionally, you know, we have to get these things, because something like all them land, you know, there's land where shouldn't be touched, you know. But there's land that when I'm gonna talk about farming, I must just real farming I go do. If I'm not farming, I know nothing else.
Can I ask you this, Russ? Are you a part of any of the NGOs or, any of the groups that are advocating for better policies and, protection of the environment and so on? Meaning, are you a member? I want to ask a second question, but only if you are a member or affiliated to any kind of NGO that operate in this space.
If I'm a member?
Yeah.
Of which one?
Anyone.
Who I'm a member of?
Amnesty International, it looks like.
Yeah.
So
my advocates, and what I really speak for poor people are anyway. I go all over the world,
So the question I was gonna ask you, in case you have the answer, since you are affiliated or you're close to several, do they have a strategy, whether it is discussed or it is apparent, of using legal procedures, going to court, taking these issues to court to try and force judicial consideration of some of these principles? Because I've been saying that lawyers need to get involved and make the applications in court, but all lawyers going to tell you, I need a client. In the places you
remember when I spoke to you today, I told you that I look in what the opposition is going to do about this.
But that is
the opposition is the one who bring the needs thing to court.
Yeah, but they're just one, and that's a political source.
I'm not a politician, Let me be.
All right.
Let me be straight to you. I'm not a politician.
I know that, Russ, and I'm not challenging you in any way or criticizing your level of advocacy. I just wanted to know from someone who might be on the inside how they discuss strategy for addressing these issues, because I see a need for more court applications to bring judicial consideration on some of these issues, and it should be deliberate. All right, I get the signal. It's 9:31. We just need to take a station break and be right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM. Keep listening.
People, are you listening?
If you choose to remain at home after an evacuation order has been issued, you do so at your own risk.
Get down, get down! Heed the warning!
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience, and them diagnose a problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040. Or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13, and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats.
Are we back on air? Good morning. All right, continue, my brother.
Yeah. So what has happened now? I want the people, them,
Yeah.
to really get serious about this land thing. Because there's a land rush is going on,
Yes.
And everybody's built have an everybody. You get some people country for run and then turn build that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, they get into transportation, they get into media. Some of the things I'm hearing, I tell you, it is.
So it is a thing now where there's nobody advocating for the poor, and the speechless people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Pastor Percival was just sharing the 4 principles of Ubuntu just before you came on. And it's what prompted me to ask if you had gone to take a look at what's happening in St. Thomas, another picture or two that you could even put on into the international space where you also advocate. Survival is a together thing.
Mm-hmm.
Solidarity, which is the solidarity one that made me ask you the question. And then respect and dignity are the 4 things which he emphasized. And the advocacy that you talk about is so critical. And I want to tell you something. I greatly appreciate what you do as an individual and as a freelance journalist. And I'm saying it now because when I ask you the questions, I would hate if anyone perceived that I was saying you're not doing enough. Every drop of water goes into building up that tsunami that Pastor liked to talk about. Every drop of water, and it is to be appreciated. Sometimes people say we're just a talk show and all we do is talk. The talk is important, so I thank you for the advocacy that you bring to it.
Yeah, talk is very important.
Yeah.
Because, you see, you have to talk, you have to get the people together.
Yeah, man, it's the communication that is going to stir some response. And if you are in St. Thomas or if you're visiting family there or if somebody can send you a picture, I'll put it on our social media. I think we need to begin to get the word out what people are doing.
I can get a picture.
Send it, please. Yes, send it to us because, there are some people, you hear them call and they say, we not do nothing. Some people.
Tell a way to get a picture right now.
Yeah, send it to me.
Wayne Lonesome.
Yes.
Just YouTube Wayne Lonesome.
Oh, he has clips of it on his program.
Yeah,
does he?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, every drop of water is what goes into building up that tsunami.
That's true.
Every drop of water. Don't feel.
And I'm gonna leave with this.
Yes.
We're not going to allow just a couple people to dictate Jamaica and what Jamaica gonna be. You know what I mean? So we say constitution reform.
Yes.
Constitution change, and we now stop till because that's the system. You have to call the constitution a system.
Yeah.
And if it just keep going.
I hear you, brother. It will happen. You know that I think is Jamaica, one of the what is it? There it is one of the portals monitoring
advocacy,
transparency and change. Right. They actually put out what looks like a public consultation call for constitutional reform. And I applaud them for it, and I certainly am going to find a way to join in it and give them some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna contact them.
Yeah,
all right, then.
Yes.
All
right, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Even as we take our next caller, we've been talking about Ubuntu. Hear what it says. Ubuntu refers to behaving well towards others or acting in ways that benefit the community.
I just love it when you discover something. You're a new convert.
No, man, I've known about this, but
but you're just now delving into it and seeing how it connects.
Yeah, because it's a way of being and what is happening as Africa.
But more than that, Pastor, emphasize it is an African way of being in terms of what resonates with the Jamaican spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
People, so the people are not behaving, our government is not behaving rightly towards us, and a lot of the persons who hold, they're not behaving correctly, and we need to enter into this place.
Donatal Basco says, this is deep, He says, those thinkers who cannot believe in any gods often assert that the love of humanity would be in itself sufficient for them. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. You're on.
Morning.
Turn off your radio. Thank you.
Me not talk about the politician them again, because Andrew me don't know them. Me don't know the them type around in our government. We want to talk about people are calling and talk about Bible say, and Bible say. When I say,
yes.
Bible say nothing.
Explain.
What I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Like them I say, God say in our Bible say. God not say nothing, a man say everything in our Bible.
But you got to explain for me, because when people say the Bible says, they refer to men who were inspired by God to write down something which God spoke into their heart, into their ears, however they heard it. So I understand you're saying it is the words of man that are recorded in the book.
When I want to say,
yes.
God will inspire you too.
Of course he inspires me. That's why I was going to ask you if him don't inspire you.
Inspire mean knowledge, brightness.
Sometimes he says it in words that you hear. It's not just something that you see or think.
Everybody. And when I say about God saying in the Bible, a liar man say all of them, I know God not say nothing. God don't go say thunder when he roll, and lightning when they hear it, and sound a river.
So the only way God speaks.
So I want to ask you something. Has God ever inspired you to do or say something in this world?
Me know about God. Remember me not tell you when me not going to Woodland and me leave them.
Right. All right.
So,
good. Yes. So suppose you had written that down, and in your writing you said, I had a vision.
Oh, me just understand, Yes. God, come me love walk and make tone on that day.
There you go.
By walking silent, I couldn't start the day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you understand now.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, but most when me hear people say in the Bible, and God say it a lie, a man say it and a lie.
There are
somebody me tell a phone,
yes.
I want interpreter.
Yes.
I want raptor. In fact, King James, me mention King James, I want an interpreter.
Yes.
Instead, when me know about King James, me say, then people say, I want interpreter, interpret the Bible. He say, him read many articles of King James. King James murdered 2 wives. And King James was a man molester, children molester, like Michael Jackson and so.
Yes.
And King James was a wicked king.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how like you go to Mandela Park and the park named Mandela Park, but Mandela didn't make it. All right. So you know that Mandela never do a stitch of work to make that park. Never even pay for it.
Oh no, they're going to give me a fire.
And that is the thing with King James. King James paid for somebody to translate a version of the Bible.
From Hebrew and
Greek. Interpreter man tell me saying King James couldn't read. Me ask him how you have proof of that. He said, you know nothing much like me. King James couldn't read.
Okay. All right. But what
I'm saying,
yes.
What I say God say in the Bible, God not say nothing in the Bible, miss. Mr. Person, me and you know, God not say nothing in the Bible, and God say it, a man say all of them.
Well, there are some things that men interpret from the Bible, and they interpret it wrong and attribute it to God. So you're right about that.
Paul, I'm grooming upon certain things.
Okay.
I want when you win, one young voice to one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Good man.
Good man. Good men.
All right, Frank. Yeah, that's true, Frank.
They're good men.
Yeah, man.
But I want you to trust. Just trust your heart and what God said to you in your heart.
Miss me already, man. I'm going to think me I trust I sound, I breeze, and it thunder, and the lightning, and so God. Me not listen no when man written down, a pure lie man written down. But we are going to go in heaven when we see and live with God, a pure lie. Miss me kind of recall about something.
All right, my brother. Okay. Take care.
Yes.
That's our final call for the day. And as we sum up the things that have been said, it's kind of very interesting in terms of how people understand things.
But you can also see how they get led into confusion
right.
and pull back.
Yeah.
Because if so many things are bouncing around and say you don't have the direct knowledge of it, you can pull back. That's why he said, I will write my laws in your heart.
Which is important.
So at the end of the day, if you can't read, if you're blind and you're illiterate or whatever your situation might be, there is God.
Yeah.
He makes himself known.
And we must not negate the work.
Is your microphone open, my producer?
We must not negate the work of the Holy Spirit in our life. Is God speaking? It says, men moved, spoke, and passed it on, that those of us could hear what God was saying. And Jesus came and did that for us too.
It is interesting when you hear that gentleman a while ago, and he spoke about the persons he has learned from. It tells you that we must be very responsible in terms of how we speak. Whether you're on the program, you're doing it on social media, or wherever you're doing it, because there are persons who are listening, and if you're not intentional in what you're saying, don't say it, because people will go with the wrong impression.
Yeah, but you kind of up the ante on us too, because as the hosts of the program, when persons call and we are interacting with them, we have to be a part of refining the ideas and bringing out the truth behind what is being said, so that everybody leaves the exchange a little better off with greater knowledge of, what's being said and who we are and how we're going to practice some of these principles, which I very much love. Survival, solidarity, respect, and dignity. It's just another formulation of what we already say here. But to know that is our tradition. I didn't hear you mention communalism.
It is. In terms of people are saying the characteristics, humanness, gentleness, hospitality, empathy, deep kindness, friendliness. It depends on, it seems, which language you pull the term from. In terms of, it's called what? Swahili. The thing. So it's interesting. It's a Nguni word with several meanings. See that? And that's a language, Nguni.
Nguni.
Yes.
Well, what's important is that all these things are practiced in community.
That is the most important thing. Yeah. So. It is about community in terms of, and they have developed a transformative approach. Wow.
I want to say this, and it is in response to, I want to just to wrap up on the big issue that we started with, how one of our perhaps our first prince of the land, meaning he's number one, how he has treated with this land, which is trust land. All when him buy it and pay money to the government is trust land. How this land is being treated. If it is that he is resiling from a plan that was already set, but now that it has been outed, he wants to say, I was misunderstood, or whatever it is.
It's not misunderstood.
Well, him say a lie outright. But people made reports and are pursuing it and
because
follow-up stories.
One of the persons who have raised it, because it says when it came to us, we said, good, excellent. This whole concept of big farms to cause agricultural production to increase, we're good for it. But now we're here about housing. Come on.
I'm trying to get to the point where we have to leave a door of escape. So that things can return to a rightful order. And if he says his lie and here's what I'm doing, let's embrace and move into him doing the right thing, because that's what we want.
That's what we want, yeah.
That is what we want. We don't want to be the one who cut off with nose for spite with face. We don't have the money or the resources to do farming at that level.
Yeah.
And we frustrate it rather than allow it to go forward because we are so hell-bent on punishing the man and taking his scalp. His scalp is already taken.
All right. Let's look at both proposed projects.
Yes.
Let's look at housing. So you provide housing, a lot of places for people to live. Where do they get the work to pay for it? How do they afford the housing that you provide?
Well, I tell you, it won't be from farming.
Let's look at the farming. No, you're providing jobs. You're providing livelihood. You're helping us as a country to feed ourselves. And there's enough land that you can go somewhere else to build houses for the same people who are now working the farms to live. You look at those lands, those are arable lands, right? Ideal for farming. Why would you want to talk about putting the houses there?
Well irrigated.
It's nice flat land. It's well irrigated. The Rio Cobre run close by there.
Yes. And the
Why would you be talking
system
about houses there? 3,000 acres. You can fit Spanish Town in that many times.
And it stretches.
But you're building a new city?
I want to give a word of comfort.
Yes.
Just before you give the word of comfort in closing,
Ubuntu again.
It's set to include the following values: communality, respect, dignity, value, acceptance, sharing, co-responsibility, humaneness, social justice, fairness, personhood, morality, group solidarity, compassion, love, joy, fulfillment, etc. But I like it starts with communality.
Yes, that's what
We're in community together. Because we live in a community, whether we like it or not. That's how we were created, to live in community with each other, respecting each other. And it is a concept that has come from the fatherland, the motherland, whichever way you want to put it, has come from Africa to us. Let's practice it here. Because when we go against it, we destroy ourselves.
Just a minute. Comfort.
The word of comfort. Yes, I'm borrowing from Isaiah, who said, "My people who live in Jamaica, do not be afraid of the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the rich men, the princes, who beat you with a rod and lift up a club against you as Egypt did. Very soon my anger against you will end, and my wrath will be directed to their destruction." That's why I said we don't have to be preoccupied in taking his scalp. It is already promised. Unless you repent, you go down. So we don't have to be afraid of it. If the man says the farming project is back on, praise Jesus.
Yes.
Or Yahweh, or Yeshua, or whomever.
Let's believe.
Yes.
Let's believe.
And move into it because,
let's embrace it, the farming.
Yeah, very soon. My anger against you will end is a promise. And my wrath will be directed to their destruction, no matter how well resourced and how big and how, powerful they are.
Egypt was powerful when it was brought down and brought to its knees,
Yep.
Man.
Conrad said literally. All right, let us say our thanks to those who have participated on air. Did my friend figure out anything with the ancient music? You did? So we're going to touch it before we go today?
Yeah.
All right, Lady Love, you're in business. Okay. And to all the advocates out there, those who are in the incorporated or the unincorporated associations, you have options. There are things you need to do. Let me tell you, if everybody said, listen, man, me I file my own thing, and all the lawyers who have been disbarred or suspended and I look for things to do with the legal knowledge that you have, find a group near you and say, this is how I can help. Remember, you know what would be awesome and amazing, because people don't have money to file these things, if they file it in their own name. You can file it in your own name. The courts are not close to you.
So you file it in your own name, and what happens?
Meaning you don't have to go hire a lawyer and pay a lawyer. Somebody help you. create your claim that you're making against the government of Jamaica, against the mayor of the city, against Mr. Leachin personally, if you feel that that is the person you need to sue. Let's just do something, whatever we can do. Don't wait to have a big budget. Don't wait to have something elaborate and fancy. 1-1 Coco, let's go with the Ubuntu way. Because if we move together, this is for survival, it can be done. Let us ask the tough questions in the place that is constitutional. This is when you're going to know now if your court is worth its name. Amen. Because they owe you an answer.
Yes, sir.
Look
yes,
at
ma'am.
it. Get things done. So thank you all, and just keep the spirit going. To those in studio and my co-host, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful morning.
Bye.
The power of love can change the whole world. Stop nations from war. This answer for peace. Great men cannot see, but the greed for wealth and the hunger for power is destructive to love.